9 XM 183 and Internet 851. Blue Jays on Internet 868. 7:45 p.m. St. Louis Cardinals take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Cardinals on Sirius 94 XM 185 and Internet 865. Diamondbacks on Internet 840. 8:05 p.m. Texas Rangers take on the Seattle Mariners. Rangers on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 867. Mariners on Internet 864. Spanish feed on Internet 871. 8:40 p.m. Colorado Rockies take on the San Diego Padres. Rockies on Sirius 158 XM 186 and Internet 848. Padres on Internet 862. 9:38 p.m. LA Angels take on the Baltimore Orioles. Angels on Sirius 85, XM 188 and Internet 852. Orioles on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 842. 9:45 p.m. San Francisco Giants take on the New York Mets. Giants on Sirius 160, XM 187 and Internet 863. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Tuesday, April the 23rd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. 6:10 p.m. Cleveland Guardians take on the Boston Red Sox. Guardians on Sirius 208, XM 175 and Internet 847. Red Sox on Internet 843. 6:40 p.m. Cincinnati Reds take on the Philadelphia Phillies. Reds on Sirius 209, XM 176 and Internet 846. Phillies on Internet 860. 6:40 p.m. Pittsburgh Pirates take on the Milwaukee Brewers. Pirates on Sirius 210, XM 177 and Internet 861. Brewers on Internet 855. 6:45 p.m. Washington Nationals take on the LA Dodgers. Nationals on Sirius 211, XM 178 and Internet 869. Dodgers on Internet 853. Spanish broadcast on Internet 870. 6:50 p.m. Tampa Bay Rays take on the Detroit Tigers. Rays on Sirius 106, XM 179 and Internet 866. Tigers on Internet 849. 7:05 p.m. New York Yankees take on the Oakland A's. Yankees on Sirius 119, XM 180 and Internet 858. A's on Internet 859. 7:20 p.m. Atlanta Braves take on the Miami Marlins. Braves on Sirius 137, XM 181 and Internet 841. Marlins on Internet 854. 7:40 p.m. Minnesota Twins take on the Chicago White Sox. Twins on Sirius 98, XM 184 and Internet 856. White Sox on Internet 845. 7:40 p.m. Chicago Cubs take on the Houston Astros. Cubs on Sirius 138, XM 182 and Internet 844. Astros on Internet 850.
Get the latest news, opinion, and analysis from MMA to boxing and the professional wrestling world 24/7. SiriusXM Fight Nation, SiriusXM 156, and the SXM app.
New York Yankees general manager Brian Cashman stopped by SiriusXM MLB Network Radio on SiriusXM Channel 89 to talk about the start to Juan Soto's Yankees career.
It's been a seamless transition. He comes in here. Everybody knows he's a great player. And obviously he's on a Hall of Fame type track. But so you see what he does from afar, and massive respect for those abilities, and so we're excited obviously to have him. But you just don't know about the personality, and some people are very closed off or very guarded and stuff like that. He seems very open and fully engaged with our fans, with his teammates, and so he's letting everybody in. So it's obviously that's not fake. It just seems to be who he is, and so it feels like he's been here a long time. Because of that, because how easily he allows people, whether it's in the clubhouse or how he's engaging the fans on the field and just communicating with them with his body language. In between innings in the outfield when he's warming up in right field, or obviously at the plate when he does something special and he obviously gestures to them as he's rounding the bases after a home run or something like that. Or to his teammates, he just seems to be very open and allowing people in, which obviously resonates with everybody. So we're lucky to have him. Certainly, we'd love to have him for a long time, but we're certainly going to enjoy him for the short term at the very least because he's obviously one of the game's greats.
Mad Dog Sports Radio has the best sports talk in the business, covering sports with a passion and knowledge you need. Mad Dog Sports Radio, SiriusXM 86, and the SXM app.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Tuesday, April the 23rd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 6:10 p.m., Cleveland Guardians take on the Boston Red Sox. Guardians on Sirius 208, XM 175 and Internet 847. Red Sox on Internet 843. 6:40 p.m., Cincinnati Reds take on the Philadelphia Phillies. Reds on Sirius 209, XM 176 and Internet 846. Phillies on Internet 860. 6:40 p.m., Pittsburgh Pirates take on the Milwaukee Brewers. Pirates on Sirius 210, XM 177 and Internet 861. Brewers on Internet 855. 6:45 p.m., Washington Nationals take on the LA Dodgers. Nationals on Sirius 211, XM 178 and Internet 869. Dodgers on Internet 853. Spanish broadcast on Internet 870. 6:50 p.m., Tampa Bay Rays take on the Detroit Tigers. Rays on Sirius 106, XM 179 and Internet 866. Tigers on Internet 849.
Major League Baseball play-by-play is now on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app.
Why do I love calling this game?
Calling this game.
Calling this game.
Calling this game.
Why do I love calling this game? It's because I get a chance to bring some joy into people's lives.
Anything can happen on a baseball field.
We've got a new game. It's perfectly unscripted theater.
Everybody on their feet. Because you never know what you're going to see on a given day.
It is bedlam in the bank as Bryce Harper has put the Phillies on top.
There's just something about baseball on the radio.
Something about the way wood hits leather.
A swing and a drive to deep left center.
The way leather hits dirt.
And he make a play. Oh, my.
The way a deep fly ball sounds like it's about to change history.
High fly ball to center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall.
Until the cleats hit the grass, hit the crushed brick, and then nothing but sky and a silent crowd. Until leather hits leather and 40,000 fans lose their collective minds.
In a perfect symphony of chaos.
He jumped up on top of the wall, balanced himself, and caught it.
The way nothing triumphs a perfectly honest call.
I don't believe what I just saw.
And the way the right voice can make a moment live forever.
Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Outsiders may think this is just two teams.
A ball, a bat, and a microphone. But no.
For over 100 years, this has been the soundtrack of the American pastime.
He struck it out looking. It's over. It's over. The Rangers have won the World Series.
The soundtrack of summer. This is Major League Baseball on the radio.
Right now on SiriusXM.
All rise.
Coming in 5.
Get ready to play. 4.
Get up. Get up.
3.
Can you believe it?
Put your seatbelt on.
Wow. My goodness.
Major League Baseball play-by-play is now on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM.
Let's go, man.
We're back on the track Sunday,
1 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Worth 400 from Dover Motor Speedway.
Checker flag, baby. Yeah.
On SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Yeah.
Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the SiriusXM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yeah.
The South Carolina Gamecocks are on top of the women's college basketball world yet again.
Perfection for South Carolina. 38 games, 38 wins.
We're reacting to the perfect season and talking to the biggest names right here on Channel 374.
Congratulations, Coach Saley. What does this particular title mean to you?
This title is pretty special because it was unexpected.
Keep it locked into SiriusXM SEC Radio as we continue to break it all down and celebrate the Gamecocks' third national title.
Get ready for the 2024 NFL Draft on SiriusXM NFL Radio.
Touchdown, Caleb Williams.
Catch exclusive interviews with the top prospects as they begin their journey to the NFL. And hear pick-by-pick coverage of the 2024 Draft from Detroit.
With the first pick, the Chicago Bears select.
Your home for the 2024 NFL Draft is SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
We're talking college basketball on ACC Today.
Great run for NC State men's basketball. The story of this team is one I don't think anybody will forget.
They were able to accomplish a lot. They captured the hearts and the minds of the nation. DJ Burns became an absolute star nationally. I love it.
ACC Today, weekdays from 8 to 11 a.m. Eastern. ACC Radio, Channel 371, and the SiriusXM app.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball. You love yelling at your buddies about baseball because they love baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, and much, much, much more. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
Each night after the horn sounds, NBA Radio has you covered with the best analysis of all the games.
When healthy, they check a lot of boxes.
We'll break down the playoff action.
Durant, left wing three again. This one goes again. All net for Kevin Durant.
And take you inside the locker room to hear from the players and coaches.
I thought it was our most connected game. Defensively, we're so physical.
Hear the NBA Radio Playoffs postgame show every night throughout the postseason on NBA Radio Channel 86 and the all-new SiriusXM app.
Slams a ball to right field. Way back. Way gone.
Is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Low rounding and heading for second to throw. In time.
On the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the VAR Show. The Blue Jays center fielder and left fielder is on fire right now with 6 homers in his last 9 starts, including one yesterday. He and Toronto look to out-hit the pesky Royals once again and guarantee a series split tonight. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Ben Schulman alongside the former Major Leaguer Chris LaRue. Show Ali is our host and producer tonight with Tom Young as our technical director. Toronto Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Donnacona and Saint-Pierre, Quebec. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. The Blue Jays have won 7 of the last 9 games and 3 of 4 on this trip. As usual, great starting pitching has led the way. Right-hander Kevin Gausman tries to continue his success after a dominant start against the Yankees last week. On the other side, it's veteran Michael Wacha for Kansas City. Standings, starting lineup, and first pitch is next. You're listening to Blue Jays baseball streaming on the Sportsnet app, sportsnet.ca, and across the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
Bring excitement to your landscape with Proven Winners Color Choice shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better. So they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for Proven Winners Color Choice shrubs in the distinctive white container at your local garden center or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's building center. Visit timbermart.ca.
It's NFL Draft Week on Mad Dog Sports Radio, and our hosts are reacting to every rumor, trade, and draft pick.
This is how you build a team.
That's why you love the NFL Draft.
And giving you, the fan, a chance to sound off on your favorite team.
I need you to talk me off the ledge. I don't understand what happened with our draft. The move we made. Love the pick.
Listen all week long on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82, and on the SiriusXM app.
You want baseball? The doggy has you covered. Tune in to Mad Dog Unleashed for the best baseball coverage anywhere. Weekdays 3 to 6 Eastern. SiriusXM Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays baseball. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Blue Jays about to play Game 2 of this series after a 5-3 win last night. Kevin Gausman taking the ball for the Blue Jays tonight. Chris, it's another night where the Blue Jays have some tired arms in the bullpen. They had to go to leverage yesterday with Jordan Romano picking up his 100th career save. And so Kevin Gausman, who looked great his last time out, the best we've seen him so far, will be pressed to come up with another big performance.
Yeah, he'll be pressed to throw at least 90 pitches tonight and hopefully go 6 innings. You would love for him to pitch into the 7th, give that bullpen a rest. There's still... Help me out here. How many games?
Tonight, 9 more in 9 days.
9 games in 9 days and 13 total without an off day. That's pretty tough for a bullpen. You think about the everyday players. It's okay. It's not that taxing. The starting rotation, not that taxing. It's very taxing on a bullpen. So Kevin Gausman, who was great in his last start, we saw him up to 98 miles an hour. That's a great sign. 6 Ks. The walks are a little bit high for me. He walked 3 guys in his last start. He got out of trouble out of a bases-loaded jam early in that ball game. I want to see him cut down on the walks. That split finger was really, really good. He threw it down in the zone, and then it would just drop off the table. I liked what I saw in his last start.
2 pitchers tonight with big off speeds. Gausman with his splitter. Michael Wacha will use his change a ton. Before we get to game action, though, let's go to baseball control. You just heard him on the pregame show. Here's today's host, Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back inside Baseball Control. Hope you're all doing well tonight. Before we check out the standings update, courtesy of Bet365, I thought this was a great conversation, and I wanted to play a piece of it for you. Gary Varsho, former major leaguer and, of course, father of one Dalton Varsho, joined Blake and Barker earlier today. Barker getting us started here on adjustments Dalton has made at the plate with his dad, Gary.
If you were watching them at home, obviously you do all the time, and you just sort of took your hand and put it over the top of his body, right? You just sort of hid his waist up and you just watched his lower half. Is there something that would tell you with his lower half that everything's going to work the way you just mentioned it was going to work?
The only hiccup he's trying to overcome, which he's really cleaned it up a lot, is taking the 2 strides. You know, it's stride and then stride again, kind of being down too early and then having to kind of regroup. And that's always been a little bit of a Achilles heel for him. When he gets into the game, it's like trying to basically reach back for more where less is more. And until you're in the box and controlling adrenaline, you don't really have a really good understanding of it. But when his lower half is right and he is on time, when we talk about being on time is basically when your foot comes down, you're in position to ready to strike. And so the timing sequences sometimes differ a little bit between pitcher to pitcher, wind up to normal delivery, or wind up to stretch. I mean, he looks like a hitter. He looks like he's supposed to look. And that's sort of like we've all been after. There have been, ups and downs and valleys, but just trying to maintain that consistency each night when you're playing. Can you have an at-bat after at-bat after at-bat? And I know last night he struck out the first 2 at-bats, and I knew right away he wasn't seeing the slider. Just didn't pick it up. The spin was great. And, Singer's a good pitcher. He had a really good slider. So it's one of those deals where, okay, hopefully he makes a mistake, but the approach was there and everything was right. And so just a matter of time. And, fortunately he got a pitch he could hit and he hit it. So, and that's the whole point, is that if you get a ball you can strike, we talk about this all the time. Mm-hmm. I think if you go back in years previous, how many balls did he fall off underneath it, fall back, and then you don't get that extra one back. So it's a matter of him not following that ball up and really putting his bat on plane with the ball so I can strike it hard, and whatever happens after that. I don't get caught up in hits. I don't get caught up in how many hits he's had. I just look for the at-bat because I know if the at-bats are good, the process is good. And I know he knows this, that hits follow. It's always happened that way throughout his career. It's like when the process is right, he's going to be right, and the team will be right, and he's going to help the team.
That is Gary Varsho, father of Dalton Varsho, chatting with Blake and Barker. You can find the whole conversation on the Blair and Barker podcast feed, or wherever you grab your favorite podcasts. All right, let's check out the Bet365 standings update. At Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and you can even make a bet while the game is still being played. 19+, play responsibly. Ontario only. In the AL East, the Orioles are atop the division. They are 15-7. The Yankees are 15-8. The Red Sox are 13-10. They are in action against the Guardians right now. The Jays are 13-10 as well, and the Rays, they are 12-12. Don't forget, we have Jays Talk tonight. Blair and Barker will have the post-game show this evening. They will take your phone calls after the final out, as always. And it does sound like we are just about ready to get going. So let's get you over to action. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue calling the game, Jays-Royals, Game 2 in Kauffman Stadium.
Thank you very much. So the Blue Jays about to hit, and let's take a look through the starting lineup for John Schneider's team. That's 13-10 entering this game. George Springer will lead off and play right field with Vladimir Guerrero Jr., the first baseman, batting second. The shortstop is Bo Bichette. He hits third. The DH, Justin Turner, cleaning up. Batting fifth, left fielder Dalton Varsho. Hitting sixth, the second baseman Davis Schneider. Hitting seventh, the catcher Alejandro Kirk. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa plays third and bats eighth. And Kevin Kiermaier rounds out the lineup in center field. On the mound for the Blue Jays today, right-hander Kevin Gausman. On the other side, the Royals lead off with third baseman Maikel Garcia. Bobby Witt Jr., the shortstop, bats second. Vinny Pasquantino, the first baseman, hits third. The catcher Salvador Perez hits cleanup with MJ Melendez following him and playing left field. Adam Frazier hits sixth and DHs. Tyrone Blanco, the right fielder, bats seventh. Michael Massey, the second baseman, hitting eighth. And the center fielder Kyle Isbell will round out the lineup. He hits ninth. Right-hander Michael Wacha, about to make his fifth start of the season in his 12th major league season. The right-hander signed a one-year contract worth $16 million with the Royals in the offseason, including an option for $16 million more next year. And he's been good so far. A 1-2 record, 3.75 ERA in 4 starts. He's about to throw the first pitch to George Springer. Wacha kicking out some dirt from the rubber as the umpires get set, and Springer waits just outside the batter's box, talking with home plate umpire Brian Knight. It's Alex McKay at first, Ryan Addington at second, and Chris Guccione at third. First pitch to George Springer is a fastball hit up the middle and rolling into center field. Cut off in center by Isbell, but for Springer, the first pitch is his first base hit of the game. And the first hit for the Blue Jays, of course, too. Runner on first, none down.
Well, big smile from George Springer at first base. He's an ambusher, and he ambushes Wacha right there. Wacha throws that fastball right down the middle, and George Springer hits it right back up the middle. Good job.
First pitch today at 7:41 Eastern. Sunny day, 22 degrees, a little less wind today in Kansas City. First pitch to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Fastball for strike one. Most of Kauffman Stadium in the shade, but a little bit of sunlight out in center field. Guerrero, a .230 hitter this year, faces an 0-1 from the stretch. Breaking ball popped up. Foul territory behind the plate. Perez gets rid of the mask, but watches it fall into the first row of seats. 0-2.
Ben, is it bark at the park?
It is bark at the park tonight. You beat me to the punch there. It is the first of 3 bark at the park nights in Kansas City. So there are dogs all over the ballpark at Kauffman Stadium.
I have to admit, I'm a little bit jealous. I didn't bring my dog with me.
Guerrero taps the plate. Springer taking a lead off first. Wacha in a set at the belt. And the pitch. High with the fastball, 1-2. What kind of dog?
French Bulldog.
Nice.
I know that's the dog that everybody has now.
Well, trust me, I have the dog that everyone has. I got a golden retriever.
Okay.
So
you're just as bad then.
Yeah. 1-2. Swinging a hot shot, grounder to third. Picked up by Garcia. Throws to Massey for one. Over to first. 5-4-3. Double play. 2 outs now in this first inning, which is brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Bring nature to your backyard with Armstrong, feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com.
Wacha mixes in that changeup right there. He'll throw his changeup 33% of the time. That's his most used pitch. Four-seamer's number 2 at 30%.
Then we'll mix in a cutter, curve, and sinker a little bit as well. First pitch to Bichette's a four-seamer right down the middle. Big swing and a miss. 0-1. Bo Bichette made a big impact yesterday hitting in the 3-hole. Hit a liner to right center field for a bases clearing triple. Swing on the 0-1 hit foul. 0-2. The 3 RBIs got Bichette into double digits now with 10 driven in on the year. He's up with 2 outs and the bases empty. A .241 hitter so far. Top of the first, no score. The 0-2. Bo hits another liner foul.
And you can see how far behind he is on that fastball, because that changeup is in the back of his mind. He throws that changeup so often that you get beat by what is essentially an average fastball at 93 miles an hour.
Wacha winds and offers. Bounce the change, 1-2. We saw Bichette take a similar approach when he did triple. It was him looking out, it looked like, for the slider of Brady Singer, who leads with that breaking pitch. And after being late on some fastballs, he got way out in front on that slider and drove it to right center.
Well, he's so good at staying out in front and kind of just whipping those hands through. He did that last night against Brady Singer on that triple to right field.
The 1-2 pitch. Bo hits a line shot to the right side. Little wake-up call to the first base dugout. And now some new baseballs for home plate umpire Brian Knight.
He is way behind that fastball. Maybe he's setting him up for something here, but he is way behind that fastball.
If you're Wacha, maybe you're worried about going to the changeup because you see the timing of the swings. The 1-2. Another heater inside. Bo jumps back out of the way.
That one at 95 miles an hour. Wacha doesn't have mediocre stuff. I mean, his fastball has been sitting 93 to 95, and then I guess he just mixes in that changeup whenever he feels like it.
His 2-2. Fastball hit foul. 95 again. That is a bit above his average, but he can go there. And that's one of the reasons that he's in his 12th year in the major leagues. A first-round pick by the St. Louis Cardinals in 2012 out of Texas A&M. The 2-2. Missed with the breaking ball, full count. In fact, Wacha would have been an Angel in the first round in 2012, but when Albert Pujols signed with the Angels, the compensatory pick went to the Cardinals. That's why Wacha landed there. 3-2 is low, and Bichette, with a lot of foul-offs, works a 2-out walk.
That was a great at-bat from Bichette, fouling off all those pitches that he didn't want. Yes, he fouled off a couple of fastballs right down the middle, but he was obviously looking off speed, and then he would just fight off the heater. But he did a good job of waiting it out and then just taking that last pitch for ball 4.
With Bichette on first and 2 down, there's no score in the top of the first, and right-handed hitter Justin Turner steps in. Wacha in the stretch, the pitch. Fastball over the plate, strike 1. Turner's average just dipped below 300 yesterday, but the on-base percentage still above 400 for the DH tonight. The 0-1. Low 1-1.
Well, Justin Turner's another guy that gets on base a ton. He fouls off a lot of tough pitches, and just like Bo just did, he'll just wear that pitcher down, and eventually he'll either walk you or he'll throw a fastball or an off-speed pitch where he wants, and he'll drill it.
1-1 is bounced far away. 2 balls and 1 strike. And given both their time in the National League, Wacha with the Cardinals for a while and Turner, of course, with the Mets and then a long time with the Dodgers, these two know each other pretty well. 18th time they've faced. 2-1. Turner lifts it to shallow right field. Blanco going in, calls off the center fielder Isbell and makes the catch to end the inning. A hit and a walk for the Blue Jays, but no runs. They leave 1 on, and it's a scoreless game, middle of the first. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You can bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Sundays are for Junior Jays. And with all kinds of cool new games and activities in the exciting outfield district areas, there's no end to the family fun you'll have.
If you're feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior Jays Sunday.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
Hey, this is Kevin Gausman. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, Show Ali, our host and producer, Tom Young, our technical director today. Kevin Gausman tosses away a baseball and catches a new one in his blue glove before getting set for his 5th start of the season. The right-hander sporting an 8.16 ERA and an 0-2 record, but coming off 5 innings of 1-run ball against the Yankees. His first pitch to Maikel Garcia is a fastball hit foul, 0-1. No score, Blue Jays and Royals, game 2 of the series after Toronto won the first one 5-3. Maikel Garcia, Bobby Witt Jr., and Vinny Pasquantino will bat this inning. Gausman's next offering to Maikel Garcia. Fastball slammed into right field, or pardon me, left to base hit. Picked up by Varsho on the roll, and Garcia has a leadoff single.
And that actually wasn't a bad pitch from Kevin Gausman. A fastball down in the zone on the inside part of the plate, and Garcia just whips the hands through and drills it into left field.
2 fastballs, both around 93 for Gausman to start the day. He'll flip in the slider a little bit, but obviously goes to the splitter a ton alongside that fastball. Here's Bobby Witt Jr. Nobody out, runner on first. The pitch. Fastball there for strike 1.
Well, Gausman's always a guy that he'll be 94, 95 in his first couple of innings, and then he'll boost it up just a little bit in the later innings. We've seen him do that a few times this season.
Garcia turned towards second in his lead at first. The 0-1 slide step from Gausman and a splitter hit foul, 0-2. Impressive 3rd season so far for Bobby Witt Jr., along with his .298 average, 7 doubles, a major league leading 3 triples, 4 homers, and 8 RBIs. The 0-2 pitch. Splitter hit on the ground, stopped at third on the backhand side by Connor Falefa. Falling away, his throw to first is late and not scooped cleanly by Guerrero. Bobby Witt Jr. is right around the top of Major League Baseball in sprint speed. He showed it there. Good play by IKF to limit it to a single.
Yeah, great play from IKF. He had no chance after catching that ball at third and kind of falling off into foul territory and making that fadeaway throw. Bobby Witt Jr. is just way too fast. Still made a good throw, though. Good attempt.
Yeah, I mean, with maybe 9 or maybe 8 out of 10 runners in Major League Baseball, that still might be an out. Now, Guerrero had to catch it also.
Yeah.
But
well, I think Guerrero gave up on it as well. Didn't really try as hard as he should have.
Just knocked it down. First and second, no outs. The pitch to Vinny Pasquantino is low ball 1. Gausman in some early trouble here, and Pasquantino, riding an 11-game hit streak, has 4 homers and 11 RBIs this year. A look at Garcia on second. And the 1-0. Fastball at the knees, strike 1. Pasquantino in his 3rd season, just like Witt. Came up a little bit later. The 1-1. Low 2-1. Royals had brought in veteran Carlos Santana in 2022, and then when they dealt him in June, that opened the door for Pasquantino, who's pretty much a first baseman DH, to come in and take his spot. The 2-1. Low with the splitter. And Gausman has fallen behind Pasquantino, 3 balls and 1 strike.
It seems to me like a lot of the pitches that he's throwing right now, he's missing glove side. That means that he's cutting everything off, whether it's his fastball or his split finger. Everything is kind of being cut across the plate, glove side.
3-1 pitch. Fastball poked foul. Pasquantino chased just a little bit below the zone there, and instead of ball 4, it's a full count. Gausman looking to slow down this early rally. First and second, no outs for the Royals. Pasquantino up, and Salvador Perez looms on deck. No score, bottom 1, and Gausman's going to step off and chase the runner Garcia back to second base.
Yeah, even though it is early in this ball game, this is a big pitch right here. 3-2 count, 2 runners on already, nobody out.
Went to the fastball on his last pitch. Here's the 3-2. Splitter pulled to second, picked up by Schneider, turns, throws to Bichette for 1, back to first, double play. Vladdy pointing out both to Bo and Schneider as them 3 turn a 4-6-3 double play to make it 2 down with Garcia on third.
And Gausman comes up big there, throws that splitty 3-2, started it right down the middle. Pasquantino thought that ball was a fastball, and then it just faded off to the right. And he just dribbles it to second base. Davis Schneider with the good turn there, quick feet.
Schneider to Bichette to Guerrero, and now 2 outs. Still Garcia 90 feet away from the plate, and Salvador Perez up. No score, bottom 1. Perez, the big right-handed hitter, steps in the pitch. Low with the slider, 1-0.
He's starting to fall in love with that slider a little bit. I don't know if I love that.
He's used it 4% more than last season. It was about a 10% pitch last year. It's close to 15% this year. Gausman tucks the ball into his blue glove. And the 1-0. Breaking ball hit foul, but deep down the left field line. Another slider, 1-1. You got to be extra special or extra careful with Salvador Perez. He is the American League's leading run producer right now with 22 RBIs in 23 games for the Royals overall.
He is still producing after all these years.
Perez also hitting .341. Runner on third, 2 down. The 1-1. Fastball hit foul, 1-2.
A good pitch there, 93-mile-an-hour sinker on the inside part of the plate. And Perez, all he can really do is just foul that ball off.
And you don't have to go in the zone with Perez. Gausman was low and in there. He is super aggressive, barely ever walks. The 1-2. Slider bounced foul again. I mean, even if you look at his best season as a pro, the year he hit 48 homers and 121 RBIs, tied Vlad for the most in Major League Baseball homers-wise, led Major League Baseball in RBIs. He walked 28 times. He struck out 170 times. He's just not very patient, and why would he be? It's worked out really well to be aggressive. He's a 4-time Silver Slugger and an 8-time All-Star.
Well, Kevin Gausman just threw him a splitty down in the zone. He tried to bury it, so I would imagine that they would try to elevate a fastball here. If not, probably try to bury another splitter.
Kirk sets up away. 1-2 is a splitter hit in the air, left field, but not very deep. Dalton Varsho circles under it and makes the catch to end the inning. Gausman allows the first 2 to reach on hits, then gets a double play and strands the other. Scoreless game at the end of 1. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Get closer to exclusive talk, comedy, and entertainment on SiriusXM. Be part of the buzzworthy moments with Andy Cohen.
Kelly Clarkson, I do want to do a duet with you.
No nonsense advice with Dr. Laura.
Is this advice that he asked you for? No. Then shut the hell up.
Unparalleled wit and A-list interviews with Conan O'Brien.
Billie Eilish.
How loud can you shout?
You haven't even heard it.
That's why I'm asking.
Don't miss an exclusive moment on SiriusXM.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
It's a home run for Ronald Acuna.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to daily fantasy basketball to getting you ready for the NFL Draft, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
How you manage your team day in and day out will be the difference in where you finish in 2024.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
There is no competition in soccer quite like the UEFA Champions League. And it's on SiriusXM FC.
Kylian Mbappe delivering when it matters most.
The stakes are higher now in the knockout stage, where one goal can transform a club's trajectory.
Jude Bellingham's driving, scores!
And one performance can turn a star into an immortal.
Harry Kane finishes off the game.
It's the Champions League knockout stage, and all the top matches are on SiriusXM FC 157 and the all-new SiriusXM app.
Hey, baseball fans, the NBA postseason is in full swing, and you're home for nonstop discussion every day and playoff action on the court every night is SiriusXM NBA Radio Channel 86 and on the brand new SiriusXM app.
Radio Network.
The second inning is presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Dalton Varsho swings and misses at a first pitch fastball, and we're underway in the second. No score, Blue Jays and Royals. Varsho leading off against Michael Wacha. 0-1 pitch, high and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dalton hit his 6th home run of the season yesterday. A .246 hitter with 4 doubles, 13 RBIs, and 2 stolen bases as well. 1-1. Missed outside there with the change. And now Wacha's fallen behind Varsho. 2 balls and 1 strike. Corners in, watchful for the bunt. 2-1 pitch. Too far inside. 3-1. For Varsho, it's his 6th home run in the last 9 starts. The one that came yesterday. 10 games overall. 3-1 pitch. Check to swing on a pitch inside. Appeal down to third. No swing, says Chris Guccione. That's ball 4. Varsho with a leadoff walk.
And when Varsho's not going well, that's a pitch that he swings at, that slider in or the fastball up at the hands. He's susceptible to that pitch. And you could see Perez setting up and in. They know that's his weak spot. They're going to try to attack that, but Varsho does a good job of laying off of it right there.
So he's aboard with Davis Schneider up. Scoreless game, top of the second, no outs. Right on right matchup, the pitch. Schneider fouls back a cutter, 0-1. Davis hitting .208 this year, 2 doubles, 3 homers, 10 driven in. Interesting decision tonight that John Schneider had to make between, do you go with Davis Schneider or do you go with Kevin Biggio at second? 0-1 inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. They likely weren't going to rest, they're not going to rest Dalton Varsho right now. They weren't going to give Kevin Kiermaier 2 days off in a row. They don't usually do that with their regular players. A 1-1. Called strike 1 and 2. And so it came down to, according to Schneider before the game, what pitches they think different guys will see. And this does profile well for Schneider. Not a super hard thrower. Everything down in the zone for the most part. Wacha's 1-2. Missed low with the change.
Yeah, when you think of a guy that's changeup heavy, that doesn't scream elevated anything. Changeups are down in the zone, obviously, and Schneider is a good low ball hitter. Sometimes he can hit that fastball belt high, but more often than not, he's going to crush a pitch that's down in the zone, and a changeup, and Wacha specifically loves that.
Schneider whiffs on a changeup in the dirt, though, and he'll strike out for the first K of the day for Wacha and the first out of the top of the second.
Well, that was a nasty changeup. Yeah. That was more like a split finger than a changeup. It had that really good action, just kind of fell off the table, and he buried that thing right behind home plate. Schneider with the ugly swing.
So with Davis Schneider down, here comes Alejandro Kirk. 1 out, runner on first. The pitch. Fastball fouled back. Out of play, 0-1. Kirk off to a tough start in 17 games, a 179 average, has driven in 8 runs. The 0-1. High, runner goes, and the throw down to second is late. Dalton Varsho steals second base, picked a good pitch on a curveball that went in at just 75 miles an hour from Wacha. It's the 3rd stolen base of the season for Dalton Varsho.
And Varsho must have got a great jump because Michael Wacha, yeah, he actually took off even before Wacha started his movement. Wacha had a good slide step on that pitch.
1-1 fouled back. Kirk down to a knee, 1-2.
And it still wasn't even close at second base.
Wacha slide stepped probably the majority of the pitches he's had with runners on so far. Dealt with runners on twice in the first and now here in the second with Varsho in scoring position. 1 out, no score, and Kirk at the plate. Time is going to be called behind the plate by home plate umpire Brian Knight. Kirk steps back in, taps the plate twice. Wacha is set. A look out at Varsho. And the 1-2. Kirk drives the ball down the left field line. On the run, MJ Melendez runs out of room. And that ball is just foul, and I mean just. I thought from this view that it got out, and I wonder if they take a look at that, but the call is foul right now.
Wow. That was foul by about a foot. Maybe less.
Maybe inches. You're not exaggerating there. That ball just missed the foul pole, it appears, on a second look. But they're still discussing this.
This will be a crew chief challenge of the foul ball call, potential home run.
Well, I agree with that call because not the foul call, but the choice to review it, because even if it just grazes that foul pole, it's a home run.
Yeah, it looks just to our eye right here that it just missed it, but they, have better, closer cameras than we could ever see. And it's really close. It might have hit, just tipped the left side of the yellow foul pole down the left field line.
I don't know how you reverse that call, though. It's really hard to tell.
They would have to have an angle we don't have, essentially. But this is, again, a crew chief review, as the umpires stated, not a Toronto Blue Jays initiated review. So even they are wondering whether that ball got out or not.
I've seen about 5 or 6 replays so far, and I don't see a difference in my opinion. I think it's going to be a foul ball. But again, if that ball just grazes by that big yellow foul pole, it's a homer.
Call on the field is confirmed it is a foul ball.
And so confirmed means not only do they not have enough to overturn it, but they actually feel they know definitively that it was a foul ball, and that is a tough break for Alejandro Kirk, who got around on an inside changeup, and again, by inches, didn't have a home run.
And for a guy that badly needs something like that, Alejandro Kirk, that's a tough break.
Only 1 extra base hit this year, a double. Runner on second, 1-2 count, 1 out the pitch. Outside, ball 2. It's 330 to the poles at Kauffman Stadium, by the way. 387 to left center and right center. Deepest part of the yard is just a little bit to the left of dead center field. 410. 2-2. Kirk hits a sharp ground ball to short. Bobbled by Witt. Picks it up on the grass and will fling it to first in time. 2 outs. Varsho stays put at second.
Yeah, Witt normally pretty sure-handed over there. Kind of bobbles it, but Alejandro Kirk running threw him out by about 4 or 5 steps pretty easily.
So Witt recovers to make the play, and now Isaiah Kiner-Falefa will be tasked with trying to drive in this run. A leadoff walk for Varsho. He stole second, but now 2 outs and still a runner on second. No score, top of 2, the pitch. Breaking ball away, 1-0. IKF with blue sleeves, batting gloves, and an elbow pad to match the blue jersey. Gray pants for the Blue Jays. 1-0. Low ball 2. The right-handed hitter hitting .258 as we enter play today. Came up with a hit and a walk yesterday and scored on Bichette's bases clearing triple. The 2-ball pitch. Called strike at the knees, dropped the changeup in there to make it 2 balls and 1 strike.
Nothing better than a 2-0 changeup, and Michael Wacha just drops it in there.
A look at second at the speedy Varsho. One more peek in the 2-1. Low with the cutter. And Walker's fallen behind 3 balls and 1 strike. Longtime Cardinal back in Missouri with the Royals. 3-1. High ball 4. Second walk of the inning issued by Michael Wacha, and his third already in this game with just 2 outs in the second.
Well, I actually like this matchup for Kevin Kiermaier. He's been so good at hitting that baseball to the left side of the field, especially off-speed pitches. We saw him do that in San Diego a couple of times. Michael Wacha will probably throw a changeup at some point in this at-bat. Kevin Kiermaier needs to just slap that thing to the opposite field.
First pitch was a curveball that slipped way out of the hand and lands high. 1-0. Kiermaier, the 9th hitter for the Blue Jays, hitting 200 so far this year. First and second, 2 down. The 1-0 is hit in the air, shallow center. Isbell jogging in, but it'll be with the shortstop that's just on the outfield grass making the catch to end the inning. 2 walks, both stranded for the Blue Jays. No runs, no hits, and no score. Toronto and Kansas City, middle of the second. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At the core, we are the same. Our games have grown differently, but here we celebrate our similarities. Join us for Cricket Night at the Park, presented by TD. Find your seats at bluejays.com.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikeys accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
Bring excitement to your landscape with Proven Winners Color Choice shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better. So they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for Proven Winners Color Choice shrubs in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
0-2 swing and a miss, strike 3.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the second inning, scoreless game, game 2 of a 4-game series between the Blue Jays and the Royals. Appreciate you joining us tonight. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Kevin Gausman out for his second inning of work. MJ Melendez, Adam Frazier, and Dairon Blanco to hit. First pitch to Melendez. Low and in, ball 1. A right-on-left matchup to start the home half of the second. Although Gausman dealt with 2 hits and that traffic, a lot of traffic in the first. 1-0. Inside 2-0. He only threw 16 pitches that inning, so the Blue Jays are asking for length today, with some of the relievers having gone 3 out of 4 in the last couple days on this road trip. He's still on track to maybe do that. Just the second, though, the 2-0. Splitter in there, strike 1.
Well, his first 2 pitches of this inning were cut across the plate. That just means that he's not getting extension on that fastball or on that off-speed pitch. More importantly, I think, on that split finger.
Next one is a splitter, bounced to second, picked up by Schneider, sidearm to first. 1 out. Time is running out to join in on one of the biggest jackpots in Blue Jays history. The Jays Care Amazing April take-home prize is about $1.5 million, and it could be yours on May 1st. Head to bluejays.com/5050 to get your tickets now from Ontario or Nova Scotia. Here's Adam Frazier, the left-handed hitting DH, up with 2 outs, or pardon me, 1 in the bottom of the second. 21st pitch of the day from Gausman at the knees, strike 1. Frazier off to a slow start. First year with the Royals. The 0-1. Fastball outside. Coming over from Baltimore last year, Frazier hitting 174 to begin the year. The 1-1. Smoked up the middle. Gausman ducks out of the way. Picked up on a hop by Bichette. Throw to first in time. 2 outs. Kevin Gausman protected his head with his glove there as he ducked down. That got a little scary, but it turns into an out for the right-hander.
Yeah, Kevin Gausman talking to Bo Bichette right now, kind of smirking. I don't think it was really that close to him. Oh yeah, it was actually. It almost hit him in the back. He kind of bent down, and Bo Bichette makes a nice play up the middle, but good pitch too.
It almost sliced away from him off the lefty's bat. If it's a righty, that ball might have hit him. Here's the pitch to Dairon Blanco, first right-handed hitter of the inning. Down and away, ball 1. 2 outs, bases empty, scoreless ball game, bottom of the second. Blanco making back-to-back starts. The 1-0. Down and away. 182 is the average this season for Blanco. He has 2 hits. Both of them are doubles. He has walked 2 times and stolen 5 bases. 2-0. Swing and a miss. Way out in front, leaning forward on the splitter swing. 2-1. Right-handed hitter has hiked up pants. And the next pitch fouled back off of his front left leg. That's where he's got the shin and foot protection, but it looked like it bounced off of his foot more in the toe area, and he is really favoring that foot right now. Hands on his knees, having trouble walking around the dirt circle.
Well, if I'm Kevin Gausman, I'm coming in with a fastball in the next pitch. Obviously, Blanco doesn't want that baseball inside. He's going to protect that right foot that he just fouled that baseball off of, and he doesn't look very comfortable at all.
Yeah, his front foot turned, his ankle kind of bent on the swing, and that exposed the side of that front foot, and he just fouled it right off the left foot. Off of his Bryce Harper cleats, I believe, and he's still walking around right now. The trainer, Nick Kenny, came out for a moment. So did Matt Quattraro, the manager for the Royals, but it looks like Blanco is okay. That's good news. He'll take a practice swing and step back in, facing a 2-2 count, 2 outs. Nobody on, no score. Bottom of 2. Blanco, the right fielder for the Royals today, started and left yesterday, flipped over to right field late in the game. Gausman bouncing on his front left foot. Stops and fires. Went low with the splitter. Blanco laid off. Full count.
And Alejandro Kirk was actually faking out Blanco or the Royals dugout there. He had that target set about letter high. And then Gausman threw that split down in the zone.
Here's the 3-2. Fastball bounced to short. Bichette charges in. Gloves it off to his left. Throws to first. And ends the inning. A trio of ground balls make a 1-2-3 bottom of the second for Kevin Gausman. Still waiting for our first run. The third inning is next. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bring excitement to your landscape with proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better, so they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs, in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting, because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Romano offers an 0-2. Swing and a miss. There are 2 down.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
George Springer leads off for the Blue Jays in the top of the 3rd inning. Looking for the first run of this game, it's Springer, Guerrero, Bichette for the Blue Jays against Michael Wacha. First pitch from the right-hander at the knees, strike 1. I'm Ben Shulman. To my left is Chris LaRue. Springer 1 for 1, singled on the first pitch of the game. The 0-1. Takes the changeup down and away, or actually the cutter. 1 ball, 1 strike. One pitch, fouled off, 1-2. George Springer back over 200 after that hit in his first at-bat, batting .207. After yesterday's game, and I'm paraphrasing, but Bo Bichette talked about the Blue Jays trying to get more out of himself, George Springer, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at the top of the order. The 1-2. Low ball 2. You can check out the exact quote in Ben Nicholson-Smith's article today on sportsnet.ca. John Steiner talked a little bit about Bo speaking up and also the emotion he showed yelling back to the dugout after the triple yesterday. He said he likes all that stuff when Bo speaks and when he shows emotion. 2-2. Springer hits it on the ground up the middle. It'll be a second base hit right back through the infield for Springer. He's 2 for 2.
Well, I've said this a lot lately, but George Springer is at his best when he's using the big part of the field. In his first 2 at-bats today, he really tries to go up the middle. See, that fastball was right down the middle. He could have very easily pulled off and tried to hit a line drive to left field, but he just goes with it and uses the big part of the field, hits it right back up the middle.
So Springer aboard, leading off an inning for the second time today. Here's Vladimir Guerrero Jr., 0 for 1, grounded into a double play in the first. Slide step and a breaking ball in there, strike 1. This 3rd inning brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Donnacona and Saint-Pierre, Quebec. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. Turn and a throw to first. Springer dives back safely. 3 stolen bases this year for George. A guy who eclipsed 20 stolen bases for the first time in his career last year. 1 strike pitch to Vlad. Inside, nearly clipped the jersey of Guerrero. It's 1-1.
And Wacha again with a really quick slide step. I don't think George Springer is going to be able to get a jump like we saw Dalton Varsho get. Varsho actually took a couple shuffle steps before Wacha even went into his motion.
The 1-1. Guerrero lashes it foul right side. 1-2. Blue Jays have taxed Wacha so far, even though they haven't brought a run across. 4 batters reached in the first 2 innings combined. And with no outs in the top of the 3rd, his 50th pitch of the day. Guerrero takes it down and away, ball 2. Vlad had a single, a walk, and a run scored in 4 trips to the plate yesterday. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Chase the changeup low. He strikes out for the first out of the inning.
A good changeup from Michael Wacha right there. I feel like a lot of pitchers are now throwing right-on-right changeups to Vlad. They see that he's susceptible to it. He swings right over that. That was far too big of a swing for a 2-strike approach there. You have to cut down on your swing. You have to try to put the ball in play. There's a big hole on the right side of that infield. He could have very easily just stuck the bat out.
First pitch to Bo, hit foul, 0-1.
Big swings like that are okay early on in the count when you have 1 strike, especially when you have no strikes. But with 2 strikes, you have to cut down and shorten up your swing.
Bichette did that last time, fouled off a number of pitches before walking in the first inning. Springer on first, 1 out, and the 0-1. Downstairs, evens up the count. Wacha asking for new baseball, licking his fingers, grabbing the front of his blue cap, steps back on the rubber. It was a 9-pitch battle with Bo Bichette back in the first inning. Here's the third pitch of this plate appearance. Swinging a liner, right field, sinking and down in front of Blanco. Springer makes the turnaround second. He's headed to third. The throw comes in late. Head first dive by Springer, and it's runners on the corners after the Bichette single with just 1 out.
And Bo is at his best when he's using that right field. He's so good at going with the outside pitch and hitting that good line drive. He got jammed just a little bit there, but you could see the approach and the intent was still there, trying to hit the baseball to the opposite field. He loves going gap to gap, and when he can drill that good low line drive to right center, that's when he's really on.
Bichette this year has more hits to right than he does to center or left field so far. Springer also, credit to him, with a very good read as the infield and catcher-led mound visit breaks up. Springer, seeing that Bichette got jammed and that ball wasn't hit so hard, had a good feeling it was dropping and just took off in a sprint on contact there to get to third easily. So here's Justin Turner, 0 for 1 today with a flyout. Bichette on first, Springer on third, 1 out, no score, top of the third. And the pitch. Turner hits a ground ball up the middle, dive by Witt, picks it up, flip to second, goes way over the bag, and the run comes in to score. Not sure they really had a play at Bo Bichette, and I think it'll be a base hit anyway for Justin Turner and his 12th RBI of the season regardless. 1-0 Blue Jays.
Yeah, that'll definitely be a base hit, but good play by Bobby Witt Jr. going up the middle. But he just couldn't get the ball out of his glove really well, and he kind of throws it up in the air, probably about 10 feet in the air. And Bo Bichette slides into second base safely.
Witt dove and was on his stomach on the outfield grass, flipped that ball way over Michael Massey. So it's 1-0, and the first pitch to Dalton Varsho is strike 1. Varsho with a walk and a stolen base back in the second, comes up with 2 on and 1 out, top of the third. 1-0 Blue Jays, the 0-1. Breaking ball in there, strike 2. Varsho's 6 home runs this season came into today tied for 3rd in the American League and 5th in Major League Baseball. 0-2 outside and dropped by one of those guys who was tied with him, Salvador Perez. And Varsho's hit some home runs with runners on base too, which has been really helpful for the Blue Jays. The 1-2 hit foul into the stomach of Perez, who pops up quickly and tosses the ball back to his pitcher Michael Wacha. In San Diego, Varsho hit a 3-run homer. Yesterday was a 2-run homer. Hit a grand slam in the Colorado series, the only grand slam the Blue Jays have so far this year. So not just home runs, but home runs in opportune times. First and second, 1 out, 1-2 count. And the pitch to Varsho. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Fooled by the changeup away, Varsho goes down for the second Wacha strikeout this inning.
Good changeup from Wacha, down and away. And actually, Varsho did something there that we haven't seen him do in probably 3 or 4 games, is that's pull his right shoulder off. He's been really doing a good job of staying on pitches. And if that ball is pitched to the outside part of the plate, just go with that baseball, and there he pulls off and strikes out.
So here's Davis Schneider, who takes a pitch in the dirt for ball 1. Bo Bichette on second, Justin Turner on first. 2 outs, 1-0 Blue Jays, road half of the third. The 1-0. In there, strike 1. The power certainly still there for Davis Schneider. Average has been a little bit up and down, hitting .204 after his strikeout in the second. 1-1 pitch, bounced softly up the third baseline, charging in Garcia, goes for the bare hand and can't make the play. Well, that'll boost the average, an infield single for Davis Schneider, and the bases are loaded.
Well, Schneider got jammed and just kind of hit a dribbler to Garcia at third base. I'll tell you what, he will gladly take that base hit.
There wasn't a play at third for Garcia, even with the force there, because that was hit softly enough that by the time it got to third base, Bo Bichette was already there, so Garcia charged it, had to try to barehand and couldn't. Here's the first pitch to Alejandro Kirk. It's outside, ball 1.
Well, even if he came up with that ball cleanly, he's not throwing Davis Schneider out at first base.
Bases loaded, 2 down, 1 run in already for the Blue Jays in this inning, in which they have 4 hits. 1-0. Check swing, pitches outside, appeal down to first, no swing, says Alex McKay, and it's 2-0. Kauffman Stadium disagrees.
Kind of looked like a swing to me. We'll see on this replay here. Oh yeah, that was a swing.
Not in the scorebook though.
No.
Walker's going to step off. Well, Kirk is having some trouble, a 175 average right now. He is 3 for 12, a 250 average with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. Infield back, the 2-0. Called strike, and a favor given there to Walker after Kirk probably swung for a strike on the last one. This pitch looked outside, but it's called a strike, and it's 2-1. These things tend to even out.
Sometimes.
The 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Challenged him with a fastball. And Kirk rips through it to make it 2-2.
And just like Varsho did when he struck out, Alejandro Kirk really tries to do too much there. You can see his head whipping around, his shoulder being pulled off. He needs to stay through this pitch.
2-2 is lifted behind first. Past Quintino in foul territory. Called off by Massey, the second baseman, who makes the catch and ends the inning. Blue Jays score 1 on the Justin Turner infield single, one of 4 Toronto hits. They strand the bases loaded. 1-0 Toronto over Kansas City, middle of the third. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. Let's go! We're back on the track Sunday,
1 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Worth 400 from Dover Motor Speedway.
Checker flag, baby. Yeah!
On SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app. Yeah! Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the SiriusXM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yeah!
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your SiriusXM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on SiriusXM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. SiriusXM Sports. We're more than just a game.
The Busted Open podcast is now available on YouTube. This is Dave LaGreca, host of Busted Open, the #1 pro wrestling show on the planet. You can now watch and listen to the award-winning Busted Open podcast every single day on YouTube. Our best interviews, behind-the-scenes access, and some of our best content from the past. All available right now when you go to youtube.com/@BustedOpenPodcast. Subscribe right now.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Network.
Bottom of the third inning at Kauffman Stadium. The Blue Jays have an early 1-0 lead. Kevin Gausman back on the rubber. He'll face 8-9-1 this inning, starting with Michael Massey. First pitch to the left-handed hitter, in there, strike 1. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. Maybe bridging you to your next Maple Leafs game coming up. The 0-1. Hit foul, 0-2.
When's the next Leaf game? Just so I'm aware.
Tomorrow, right? I mean, we're baseball guys.
Well,
baseball
sometimes
guys.
they have 2 days off in between
games. Yeah, it
games.
is travels. Maybe it's Thursday. I'll get on that. Give me a sec. First, the 182 hitter Massey in an 0-2 hole. Kirk stands up, and the pitch from Gausman is a fastball left down the middle and line to left. for a base hit. A missed spot there in a leadoff single.
And Kirk was actually standing almost straight up with that target. I would imagine about neck high, even head high. And Kevin Gausman threw that fastball middle. Massey drills it into left field.
Massey with the third hit today for the Royals. Here's Kyle Isbell, the 9-hitter. And by the way, tomorrow night, Bruins and Leafs at Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, 1-1 series. Isbell, another left-handed hitter, batting below 200. The first pitch is called strike one. A double and 2 long balls for Isbell this year. 5 RBIs, 3 stolen bases. 1-0 Blue Jays. Runner on first, no outs. Home half of the third. A peek at the runner by Gausman and the 0-1. Fastball popped up foul behind the plate. Isbell stumbling on top of the plate as he swung. 0-2.
Isbell hit that big homer last night against Romano in the 9th inning on that slider. So he does have some juice.
Got caught a middle in breaking ball, took it out to right field. Made the game 5-3, but the Blue Jays would still get the win. 0-2. Splitter hit on the ground to second, picked up by Schneider. He'll look at second, but his only play is first. He flips it over there. Massey moves up 90 feet, and there's 1 out. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. Hit a home run on your next home improvement. For a great selection of renovation products and quality brands, Timber Mart has the bases loaded for a grand slam on every project. Batter up. Timber Mart is Canada's building center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, Show Ali, our host and producer, Tom Young, our technical director. Top of the order with a runner on second, 1 down. The pitch to Michael Garcia is low. Garcia, who homered yesterday, came up with a single in the first inning. 1-0. Low, 2 balls and no strikes, blocked by Kirk.
And Kevin Gausman, a lot like Chris Bassett on Sunday in San Diego, he's kind of just grinding through this game. And grinding is just, there's something not right. Your mechanics aren't right. You're tired. You're dehydrated. A lot of things could be going on, but he's just not hitting his spots. And he's, most specifically, he's not getting ahead of batters as he is right here, behind in the count, 2-0.
A look at the runner, and the 2-0 pitch is a slider hit to left field. Varsho on the run, tracks it down in left center and makes the catch. Runner didn't tag, but Varsho delivering a throw and a hop to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa anyway at third. 2 outs on the flyout. Here comes Bobby Witt Jr. Bobby Witt's 1 for 1. Hit a ball hard down the left field line, or down the third base line. It was snared by Isaiah Kiner-Falefa before it got to left field, but he was falling into foul territory, and the speed of Witt beat him for an infield single. Gausman, I believe, asking for a new baseball here, so Witt will step out. Bobby Witt, the son of Bobby Witt, the 16-year Major League starter with over 100 wins with Texas, was a World Series champion with Arizona in 2001, and was also part of that Oakland A's team in 1992 that the Blue Jays beat in the ALCS before winning their first World Series. First pitch to Junior is hit foul, 0-1.
And Bobby Witt is now a pretty big agent in baseball as well.
Not a bad post-career career. Bobby Witt Jr. trying to knock in the runner at second. 2 outs, 1 strike on him. Bottom of the third. The pitch from Kevin Gausman. Fastball hit foul. 97 from the right-hander. 0-2.
That's the first fastball we've seen today at 97 miles an hour. He's been sitting 93 to 95-ish. Stuff hasn't been great today, but like I said, he's just grinding through this start. That's a good sign that he just threw that 97 in there.
A step off by Gausman and a look at second. Massey will go back to the bag. If you didn't guess it already, yes, Bobby Witt Sr. is Bobby Witt Jr.'s agent.
I actually didn't know. I was not sure.
He is.
I guess you can't fire him then.
No. The 0-2. Splitter low. Witt bent down to track it all the way. Did not swing. Well, considering Bobby's on a deal that at a minimum is 7 years and almost $150 million, and at a maximum could be almost $400 million over 14 years, I'd say they've had a pretty good working relationship altogether. look at the runner with 2 outs. The 1-2 from Gausman. Hit hard down the left field line. Foul ball. Splitter off the plate inside, but a little bit too high. And Witt, who leads Major League Baseball in balls hit 110 miles an hour or harder this year with 12, nearly had another one hit in fair play.
Yeah, that was about 5 or 6 inches foul, and you could see Isaiah Kiner-Falefa pointing at that mark on the dirt.
It was hit right at Chris Guccione's. It was right in front of him to see. He jumped out of the way but made the call at the same time. A turn and a throw to second. Massey back with a dive. That's the second time this plate appearance that Gausman has checked on him, so Massey could think about getting extended or running here, although he's on second with 2 outs, likely to score in a single anyway, so probably doesn't take that risk.
And your second best hitter up at the plate.
The 1-2. Fastball low. Kirk's target was high, but Gausman yanked that pitch down, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, Gausman hasn't really been in control of his command today. He's missed a lot of spots. He just needs to throw a good pitch right here, get out of this inning.
Trying to get through 3 scoreless. He's given up 3 singles so far. 1 this inning to Michael Massey, who's on second. The 2-2. Splitter bounced softly to third. IKF cuts off. Bichette throws on the run to first and retires Witt to end the inning. 1 hit stranded, no runs for the Royals in the home half of the third. We head to the fourth. It's 1-0 Toronto in Kansas City. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The NBA playoffs are in full swing.
And the superstars are now battling mano a mano.
And you can hear every second of the postseason on NBA radio.
Mitchell out front, long 3. Bang!
We're bringing you nonstop playoffs talk every day.
This is what playoff basketball is, man. This ain't about pretty stuff.
And all of the heart-pounding action every night.
To the basket, alley-oop to LeBron! Slam dunk!
Your home for the postseason is NBA Radio Channel 86 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, original specials, and much, much, much more. All baseball, every day, on your radio. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
The most important person in sports is you, the fan.
Let me tell you something. I'm a real fan.
And your place for sports talk is Mad Dog Sports Radio, where your voice is heard all day long.
I couldn't wait to get into the truck, turn on 82.
Sharing the thrill of victory.
The joy, the jubilation. I can't stop smiling.
And the agony of defeat.
When is this franchise going to realize people really care about this?
Passionate sports fans call 888-MAD-DOG-6.
You gotta love sports.
Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82, or anytime on the SiriusXM app.
In season or out of season, the #1 place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Isaiah Kiner-Falefa leads off the top of the fourth inning. 1-0 Blue Jays. Here's the pitch from Michael Wacha. It's high, ball 1. Sun going down in Kansas City. 70-ish Fahrenheit is the temperature. Low 20s Celsius, 1-0. Swinging a ground ball past the diving third baseman, Michael Garcia, and rolling into left field. A hit for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa to lead off the fourth, and his second time aboard today in 2 tries. He now has a hit and a walk.
Well, IKF hasn't been hitting the ball all that hard recently, but he's just finding holes. He's finding a way to get on base. And most importantly, he's just having good at-bats.
Bounce that one right through the 5-6 hole. He's got speed too. He takes his lead off first. Kevin Kiermaier up. No outs. 1-0 Blue Jays. Top of the fourth. The pitch. Kiermaier shows bunt. Pulls back. It bounced. 1-0. This fourth inning presented by Bet365. At Bet365 you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19 plus. Play responsibly. Ontario only. We'll check the out-of-town scores coming up in a sec. I'm Ben Schulman, alongside Chris LaRue. Turn and a throw to first. IKF back with a dive.
Well, I don't know if Kevin Kiermaier was trying to sack bunt on that play or if he was going to drag bunt or try to get on base there, but I like the idea.
Shows bunt again and bounces it foul. With how late he's putting it out there, I think it's more of a bunt for a base hit, and hey, if it ends up being a sacrifice, that's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Because we saw IKF last night looked like he was going to sacrifice, and he had the bat out there before the pitch was even thrown. IKF on first, nobody out, and the 1-1 to Kiermaier. Shows bunt again, and this time puts it in fair territory toward third. Picked up by the pitcher, throw to first just in time. Michael Wacha with a nice play there beats Kiermaier by maybe a third of a step, and that'll go down as a sacrifice bunt for Kevin Kiermaier.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to sack with kind of getting on base in the back of his head there. He wasn't totally out of the box when he made contact with that baseball. He was really trying to get it down before he left. Regardless, it was a really nice bunt from Kevin Kiermaier giving himself up there. And he was out by about quarter of a step.
Second,
yeah.
Here's George Springer up 2 for 2 today. Runner on second, 1 out, the pitch. Called strike 1.
And that's something you don't really see that often from this Blue Jays team. You just manufacturing runs, base stealing, sack bunts, hit and runs. You rarely see that stuff from John Schneider.
The 0-1. Springer takes, it's high. Count evens up at 1 ball, 1 strike. George Springer with a pretty good shot to put together his first 3-hit day of the season. Has had multiple hits in 4 previous games. 1-1. Called strike at the knees. Walker gets ahead of Springer 1-2. Springer had 3 hits 11 different times last year, 4 hits twice, and even a 5-hit opening day. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Devilishly good since Toronto first raised the trophy in '92. Join them for wings, ribs, beer, cocktails, and catch every play at your local St. Louis Bar and Grill. Download the app or visit stlouiswings.com for more details. Always devilishly good. 1-0 Blue Jays. Runner on second, 2 outs. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. up. The first pitch. Vladdy hits foul. 0-1. In the Bronx, it's the A's looking to win a second game in a row over the New York Yankees. Shut them out 2-0 yesterday. Yankees, though, put up a 4 spot in the bottom of the first against the A's. It is a 4-3 game right now in the 6th. 0-1 to Vlad. Check swing. Pitch was high and in. Ball 1. Lawrence Butler and Shea Langoliers went deep for the Oakland Athletics in that game. Anthony Rizzo homered for the Yankees. 1-1. Vlad takes, and it's 1-2. At Kauffman Stadium, Guerrero looking for his first trip to the base paths today. IKF on second. Vlad's 0 for 2. A strikeout and a ground ball into a double play. A look at IKF from Wacha. His pitch. Low and in. Vlad moves his back foot out of the way, and the count evens up at 2-2.
Wacha's changeup moves so much, it's almost like a left-hander's curveball. That's the type of movement it has.
Vlad without a hit against off-speed pitching so far this year. 2-2. And he fouls off that changeup. With 2 strikes, Wacha even increases his changeup usage to over 50%. Throws it the most among qualified pitchers in Major League Baseball. Right behind him, Ronel Blanco of the Houston Astros. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a runner on second. 1-0 Blue Jays top of 4. The pitch, no. Wacha, fooling Vlad and myself, kicks up his legs, spins around, looks at IKF at second, who jogs back to the bag.
Most importantly, he fooled you, though.
Yes. Well, I never took big leads. Wacha's 2-2 now. Inside, Guerrero lays off the changeup. Full count.
And they are really trying to pound Guerrero in with that changeup, with a fastball. I would imagine they'll just come right back there again.
First base is open, although Bo Bichette's on deck. The 3-2 pitch. Swing and a fly ball. Deep left field. Melendez going back at the wall, and he'll give way to the center fielder Isbell, who makes the catch on the track. Guerrero just misses a homer, and the Blue Jays strand the leadoff single from IKF. 1-0 Toronto, middle of the fourth. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Bring excitement to your landscape with Proven Winners Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better. So they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for Proven Winners Color Choice Shrubs in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Marshall smashes the ball to right field. It's gone!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. They just finished the hot dog race, and so we're ready to go for the bottom of the fourth inning. 1-0 Blue Jays over Royals. The pitch to Vinny Pasquantino leading off. And it's hit in the air, center field. Backing up Kiermaier. He'll toss away something from his right hand and make the catch. 1 out. I don't know what that was. If he had like a tissue?
No, that was the scouting report. He was looking at the scouting report while Pasquantino was swinging. And he didn't get a chance to put it back in his back pocket. That's some savvy fielding from Kevin Kiermaier. Yeah, that's that scouting report. Just tosses it.
So 1 out and Salvador Perez to come to the plate. I didn't get to see who won the hot dog race.
The ketchup. I did, yeah.
Nice. The pitch to Salvador Perez. Fastball, strike one.
Well, at my house, the ketchup always wins.
Mine wouldn't have been on the board. I'm not a huge ketchup, mustard, or relish guy. Maybe
You're
like mayo.
Naked? Oh,
and a hot dog, it's going to be, I would have chili. First pitch to Salvador Perez. Or second pitch, hit foul 0-2. You didn't sound excited about chili.
No, that's weird.
You don't like a chili dog?
No, that's too messy. I just like
I
like simple hot. I like to taste the hot dog itself if it's a good hot dog.
I mean, I'll eat it plain too, which I know also people think is weird.
That's kind of weird too, yeah.
0-2. Down low, ball one. I've actually ran kind of a hot dog race before. When I was in the minor leagues, Fort Wayne Tin Caps, they had the condiment race, so no hot dogs, but it's ketchup, mustard, and relish.
And you were the chili.
I was not the chili. I was the relish. 1-2. Fastball hit foul behind the plate. Still 1-2. 1-0 Blue Jays. 1 out, bases empty. Bottom 4. Gausman versus Sal Perez. Yeah, it's mustard, ketchup, relish, and relish never won. There's not one day that I'm sure that whole season that relish ever won.
Was it staged?
Maybe. 1-2 pitch, grounded foul. Perez laughing as he hits that one off his foot, stumbling on the splitter. Relish almost won when I was in it, but just didn't work out that way.
Well, my personal favorite is the pierogi race in Pittsburgh.
Rogie Race is good. The 1-2. Inside, 2-2. I like they have the president's race in Washington.
Ooh, that's a good one, too.
And I believe Roosevelt never wins. I'm pretty sure I could have. Someone never wins. I forget which one it is, but.
I didn't know those were set up. I thought those were just fans in suits.
It depends. Like, I know in Milwaukee, the sausage race is legit.
You're telling me that Santa Claus doesn't exist.
Slider hit in the air, right field. Springer backing up, looking at Kiermaier. Now he'll call him off and make the catch. They're communicating a little bit on that one. Springer pointing, nodding with Kiermaier and giving him a thumbs up, 2 down. I think it varies from ballpark to ballpark.
Well, I don't really want to hear more about this.
You don't want to hear?
You're ruining it for me.
You thought every single one was legit?
Yes, I thought I had a chance every single time to guess who's right.
Two down, bases empty, bottom of the 4th. The pitch to MJ Melendez, called strike 1 with a splitter.
So you're telling me that the Mr. Freeze race in Atlanta is set up as well?
I don't know about that one. I'm not sure.
You're killing me.
I'm not sure. 0-1. Swing and a foul tip back off Kirk and rolling to the right side. 0-2. Melendez 0 for 1, a ground out to second to start the second inning. Blue Jays up 1-0 on the Royals, 2 outs, home half of the 4th. The pitch. Low with the splitter, count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Gausman's really starting to locate that splitter well. That's a good sign. Early on in this game, he was struggling. He was throwing a lot of those floaters that he sometimes throws, but now they're really starting to have good action. He's able to bury it just like that 0-2 pitch right there.
Is 1-2. Buried the slider that time, and again Melendez wouldn't offer. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pretty efficient so far for Kevin Gausman, who's allowed just 3 singles in 3 2/3 innings with 2 outs and a 2-2 count. His 57th pitch of this start. Fastball, got him, strike 3 looking. In the 4th, it's the first K of the day for Kevin Gausman, who's gone through 4 scoreless. Toronto up 1-0. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hear the 2024 NFL Draft on SiriusXM.
With the first pick,
NFL Radio will be in Detroit as Rick Neuheisel, Jason Horowitz, Jim Miller, and Pat Kerwin provide instant analysis.
He makes all the throws. You will be defending the whole field.
As well as exclusive interviews with coaches, executives, and players.
I want to be the best quarterback. Legends live on, and I want to be a legend.
Listen to every round of the NFL Draft starting Thursday night at 7 Eastern on NFL Radio Channel 88 and the all-new SiriusXM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
It's a home run for Ronald Acuna.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to daily fantasy basketball to getting you ready for the NFL Draft, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
How you manage your team day in and day out will be the difference in where you finish in 2024.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Wake up! Wake up, everybody! This is Steve Phillips from the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio. Join me and former Major League Baseball players Eduardo Perez and Xavier Scruggs as we react to all the latest news and scores across baseball and have plenty of fun along the way.
Steve, you were so right about that.
I don't know if anybody else thinks we're funny, but I think we're funny.
Why are you putting us or we into this?
The leadoff spot, weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM
Radio Network.
5th inning at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. Blue Jays up 1-0 on the Royals with Bo Bichette leading off for Toronto. Appreciate you sticking around on this Tuesday night. First pitch from Michael Wacha. Low ball 1. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali, our host and producer. Tom Young, our technical director. Jays Talk follows the game with Blair and Barker. The 1-0. Bichette rips the ball left side on the ground. Picked up by Bobby Witt, his fellow shortstop, who throws over to first. 1 out. On the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, still 4-3 in the game between the Yankees and Oakland. Athletics visiting Yankee Stadium, batting with a runner on in the top of the 7th. At Tropicana Field, it's the Tigers leading Tampa Bay, looking to defeat the Rays for the second straight day. Justin Turner batting for Toronto. The pitch. Outside ball 1. The offense for Detroit has been driven by Riley Green, the DH, with 2 home runs. 1-0. Called high, looked pretty good. But it's 2 balls, no strikes to Turner. Green has 2 homers and 3 driven in out of the 4 Detroit runs. 2-0 pitch. At the knees, called strike 1. Kansas City and Detroit, maybe 2 rising teams in the AL Central. They're tied right now at 13-10 for second. 2-1. Turner with a check swing roller foul just in front of the third base dugout where the Blue Jays sit. It's 2-2. It's Cleveland, by the way, at the top of the American League Central. Best record in the American League, 16-6. Best record in baseball, I believe. 2-2. Turner reaches out and pokes the ball to right center field for a base hit. I don't know how he hit that ball. A changeup way low and away, and still he gets aboard for the second time today.
I'm not shocked by that. A little half swing. Excuse me, sir. That was a changeup down in the zone. Actually, not even in the zone. That was probably closer to the ground than it was the zone. And Justin Turner goes out and just pokes it into right center. Michael Wacha frustrated with that, and rightfully so.
I mean, it was a good pitch. Here's Dalton Varsho, runner on, 1 out. First pitch he sees is hooked down the right field line. Fair ball, bouncing onto the warning track. Turner headed to third. Varsho over to second. They'll stop both of them there. It's a stand-up double for Dalton Varsho, and second and third for the Blue Jays with 1 out. Big smile on Varsho's face.
Well, he should be smiling. He should have been smiling the last 2 weeks. He does a great job staying on that hanging curveball from Michael Wacha, and he just drills a good line drive down the line. Look at that right shoulder just staying in, staying right on that baseball, and making good hard contact.
5th double of the year for Varsho. You mentioned the curveball was hung. For Varsho, 5 of the 6 homers have been on pretty middle pitches. Mound visit right now from pitching coach Brian Sweeney for Kansas City. That ball left over the middle. But a big part of the job is punishing mistakes. You don't have to hit all the pitches on the edges, and he's really punishing pitchers when they make mistakes right now.
Well, his dad was talking earlier today with Blair and Barker about the decision-making process when he's up there. When you get a good pitch, good hitters hit good pitches. That's what they do. You're not supposed to hit pitchers' pitches. You're supposed to hit mistakes, and Dalton Varsho has been doing that over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, he had mentioned last year how a couple too many of those were fouled back. Gary Varsho, a former major leaguer and the bench coach with the Phillies and the Pirates in the 2000s. Second and third, infield in, 1 out. The pitch to Davis Schneider. High ball 1. Chris Stratton warming up right now in the right field bullpen. Michael Wacha's day is probably close to done here. He's only given up 1 run, but 2 runners on, 1 out in the 5th, and 93 pitches already. Here's his 94th. Schneider lifts it behind the plate, foul. And that was a mistake there from Wacha, a changeup right down the middle.
This is a big at-bat for Davis Schneider, especially because there's 1 out. You have to put the ball in play. You have to at least try to lift that baseball. The infield is in, so you don't want to hit a ground ball. Put some air into that baseball and hit it to the outfield.
The 1-1. Started the hands, but pulled them back on the fastball too far inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. It's Turner on third and Varsho on second. Schneider 1 for 2 with an infield single. The 2-1. Hit him right on the elbow. It did sound like it hit the plastic of that elbow guard, But that was a four-seam fastball that struck him in the elbow. Schneider jogs out of the box, crouches down in pain, and now stands up as Jose Ministral goes to tend to that elbow with John Schneider close by.
Yeah, as much as we like to think that elbow guard absorbs all the blow, those guys can still feel it. That baseball hit him right in the elbow, right on that guard, but you can still feel it as a hitter. That's a 93-mile-an-hour fastball right to your elbow bone.
Schneider's still talking with the head athletic trainer right now, handing him his elbow guard and a bit of a wrist guard, and Davis Schneider will remain in the game and jog down to first. Good that he's okay. An applause from the Kansas City crowd. And Michael Wacha is going to be taken out of this ball game. That hit batter is the last pitch that he throws. He leaves the bases loaded with one out and a 1-0 Blue Jays lead in the fifth. Chris Stratton coming in. Let's go over to baseball control for the first time today. Here's Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben. Before we check that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, don't forget we do have J-Stock tonight. Blair and Barker will have the post-game show this evening. They will take your phone calls after the final out. As always, they are here all week long for this whole Royals series and Game 1 of the Dodgers series at the Rogers Center on Friday. All right, let's check out that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. We'll start with the Stanley Cup playoffs. Round 1 action continuing. Capitals at Rangers. Game 2 on the go right now. Rangers up 1-0 in the series. Right now, New York up 4-2. Vincent Trocheck, Mika Zibanejad, Jack Roslovic, and Keandre Miller, all with goals for NYC. You can watch that game on Sportsnet. Battle of Florida, Game 2 on as well. Lightning at Panthers. The Cats are up 1-0 in the series right now in Sunrise, Florida. Florida was up 2-0. Game now tied at 2. Steven Stamkos tying the game with a blast. You can watch that game on Sportsnet 360. Later tonight, about half an hour, we'll get Avalanche at Jets. Winnipeg leading that series 1-0. That game goes at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific on CBC and Sportsnet Plus. And a half an hour later at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on Sportsnet, we'll get Predators at Canucks. You'll be able to listen to it on Sportsnet 650 as well. Canucks Central postgame will follow as always. No Thatcher Demko for the Canucks in this game. Casey DeSmith in goal for Vancouver tonight. And the Canucks already with a 1-0 series lead. In the NBA, 3 games on the schedule this evening. Suns at Timberwolves. Halftime right now. Phoenix leading Minnesota 51-50. Minnesota up 1-0 in their first round series. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back to the action. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. Bases loaded for the Blue Jays. Big at-bat coming up for Alejandro Kirk with 1 out and a 1-0 lead. Top of the fifth. The right-hander and World Series champion last year with the Texas Rangers, Chris Stratton, is in for his 10th appearance of the season. His first pitch to Kirk is called strike 1. That was the fastball from Stratton. He'll throw a curve in the high 70s as well, mix a slider in a fair amount too, has a changeup in his back pocket. The 0-1. Kirk swings and lofts the ball to center. It hangs up. Isbell underneath it. Turner tagging, trying to score, and the throw will go back into second. It's a sacrifice fly for Alejandro Kirk. Turner comes in to make it 2-0.
And that's exactly what you need to do as a hitter in that situation. Try to hit that ball in the air. Both middle infielders are back, so they're at double play depth. And both corner guys are in. So the last thing you want to do, especially for Alejandro Kirk, who can easily hit into a double play, is hit that ball on the ground. And he does a nice job getting underneath that baseball and getting a run scored.
Blue Jays double their lead, and now they'll look to add some more. First and second, 2 outs. And Isaiah Kiner-Falefa up, who has a walk and a single today. The pitch. Called strike 1. Dalton Varsho's on second. Davis Schneider's on first. You'd assume Varsho scores running on contact on pretty much any single to the outfield. Right on right pitch. Kiner-Falefa lifts the ball to right center. Going back, Isbell. He'll make the catch off to his left to end the inning. The Blue Jays add on a run on 2 hits. It's Alejandro Kirk's sacrifice fly that drives in Justin Turner. 2 left on by Toronto. 2-0, middle of the fifth. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
SiriusXM NFL Radio revs up live coverage of the 2024 NFL Draft in Detroit, starting Thursday night at 8 Eastern.
With the first pick, the Chicago Bears select
pick-by-pick coverage of every round, instant analysis from our experts, and interviews with players, coaches, and executives.
I want to be a legend. I want to have a golden jacket.
Hear the 2024 NFL Draft.
Win it. A Super Bowl. That's what matters.
On NFL Radio Channel 88 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track Sunday,
1 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Worth 400 from Dover Motor Speedway.
Checker flag, baby. Yeah.
On SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app. Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the SiriusXM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yes.
After injuries caused Brooks Koepka to wonder whether he could ever be healthy enough to win another major, that question was answered at the 2023 PGA Championship.
Koepka taps in for par. Brooks Koepka is the winner of the 105th PGA Championship. Impressive performance.
His fifth major title came in a two-shot win over Victor Hovland. Listen to the 106th PGA Championship beginning May 13th on SiriusXM Channel 92 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Hey, baseball fans, the NBA postseason is in full swing, and your home for nonstop discussion every day and playoff action on the court every night is SiriusXM NBA Radio Channel 86 and on the brand new SiriusXM app.
The Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Appreciate you joining us tonight. Bottom of the fifth inning, 2-0 Blue Jays. Kevin Gausman, the starter for Toronto, delivers his 58th pitch of the night to Adam Frazier, and it's called strike one. Frazier, Dairon Blanco, and Michael Massey to hit this inning for Kansas City. Frazier's a DH, batting left, hitting 170 this year. The 0-1. Smoke to right field. Going back Springer, it's over his head, and it one hops into the wall. Frazier around first. He'll head towards second and slide in safely with a leadoff double.
Alejandro Kirk was set up on the outside part of the plate, and that fastball from Kevin Gausman just ran right over the inside part of the plate, and Adam Frazier does a good job dropping that head and hitting a line drive to right field.
It's the fourth time in his career that Frazier has doubled off of Kevin Gausman. Came into tonight hitting .390 against Gausman in 41 at-bats for his career. He's on second with nobody out. Dairon Blanco up. Gausman staring at Frazier and the pitch. Bounced down and away, blocked by Kirk on the backhand side, 1-0.
Well, we talked about this last inning. He's missing a lot of spots tonight. He's grinding through this start, and that last pitch to Adam Frazier is no different. He missed that probably about, I don't know, 3-4 balls. He missed his spot, and that's a big miss. Adam Frazier makes him pay.
Now Blanco, the right-handed hitter, faces a 1-0 and pokes it softly to the right side. Runner advancing from second. Schneider charges, gloves and throws. Huge punch by the first base umpire, Alex McKay. There's one out, and Adam Frazier is now at third. Let's go to the injury report brought to you by Bergmanis Priro Personal Injury Lawyers. If life has thrown you a curveball and you're striking out with your insurance company, get ahead of the count and call Bergmanis Priro Personal Injury Lawyers. You focus on getting better, and Bergmanis Priro will take care of the rest. Visit bplawyers.ca. Nothing really of substance shared today, but forgot to mention yesterday, Ricky Tiedemann is meeting with team doctors this week. He's on the 7-day injured list with elbow discomfort, I believe it was reported. First pitch to Michael Massey, misses low, 1-0.
He got an MRI, didn't he?
Yes, I don't believe the results of that have been shared, at least. Runner on third, infield plays back, corners in, 1-0. Massey hits it off his back foot, I believe, or actually his front left foot. It's 1-1. Michael Massey, coming into this inning, had the last hit off of Kevin Gausman. He singled on a middle fastball in the third. He's now trying to drive in the first Kansas City run today. Adam Frazier doubled to start this inning and is on third base after the ground out. 2-0 Blue Jays. Gausman bouncing on the front left foot, delivers. Bouncing ball back to the plate, and Frazier breaks from third. They have him in a rundown. Gausman to IKF, to Kirk, back to IKF, chasing Massey. He's off the baseline, and they tag him anyway. He is retired on a fielder's choice. Going all the way to second is Massey, but Kevin Gausman fielded it there, and Frazier was just caught in no man's land.
Yeah, Kevin Gausman, such a good heads-up play. A lot of the time, pitchers field that baseball, and they just throw to first base. But as soon as Kevin Gausman catches that baseball, he looks Frazier back, and Frazier was just caught in no man's land. You're right, about halfway between third and home plate. And Kevin Gausman runs him back to third base. Executed that to perfection.
A 1-5-2-5 fielder's choice. IKF was the one who applied the tag at the end, and Gausman, too, went over to cover home plate just in case they weren't able to catch him. Yeah. Now, Kirk and IKF talking on the mound with Gausman.
You always want to run the base runner back to the base they came from. So Kevin Gausman did the little banana around Adam Frazier and then ran him back to third base. He executed that thing to perfection. We work on that as baseball players every single day in spring training. It is the most monotonous, boring thing, but right there, he saves a run and does a great job.
Yeah, I bet when you do it finally in a game, then you get grateful for all that practice in spring training, probably. Here's the 9-hitter Kyle Isbell. Runner on second, Michael Massey, who just grounded into that fielder's choice. 2 outs, 2-0 Blue Jays, bottom of the 5th. Gausman looks at second and fires home. Fastball outside, ball 1. Gausman's forced a ton of ground balls today. He's only struck out 1 in a somewhat uncharacteristic but effective start so far. Right on left pitch. Isbell bounces it to third. Picked up by IKF. Throws across his body, and it's dropped by Guerrero at first. Massey around third. He'll come in to score. IKF made the tough part of the play, and it just wasn't squeezed over at first base. That'll be an error on Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and the first Kansas City run of the day. It's now 2-1 for Toronto.
And I don't know what Vlad was doing at first base. That was a great throw from IKF, almost chest high. Not to the chest, but a very easy, makeable play for Vlad. And he just whiffs on it. It didn't look like he took his eye off it. It didn't look like he tried to do something before he caught that baseball.
First pitch to Michael Garcia, called strike 1.
He just whiffed on it.
You don't see that every day. An error bringing in a run. And now the top of the order up. The 0-1, no, it's going to be a turn and a throw to first. A dive back from Isbell.
But needless to say, that is a big run that just scored for the Royals.
And with the Blue Jays having a chance to get Kevin Gausman deep into this game, he would have been at 66 pitches to end 5 scoreless. Now he's at 67 with an unearned run allowed. Here's his 68th. And it's hit to left center field, sinking and down in front of Kiermaier. Rounding second and headed to third is Isbell. And it's runners on the corners for the Royals. Here comes Bobby Witt Jr. Things really unraveling here near the end of the bottom of the 5th.
Well, Kevin Gausman is throwing more pitches. You're giving this Royals offense more chances. That's something you can't do in the major leagues. You can't give good teams. This Royals team is good. They have good offense. They're 13-10 for a reason. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr. just gave them 2 more opportunities.
Starting to get some movement in the bullpen in left field for the Blue Jays. And Pete Walker right now out to the mound to talk with his pitcher and the infield on the mound as well. Certainly wonder about the eligibility of guys like Jordan Romano, Jimmy Garcia. They would be going 4 out of 5 days if they pitch today. Also, Bowden Francis, John Schneider said before the game, is available if they need him, but they have Yariel Rodriguez going tomorrow, so they'd probably rather not use Bowden Francis, and that could limit you to Swanson, Richards, Pearson, and the 2 lefties. Here's Bobby Witt Jr., first and third, 2 outs. 2-1 Blue Jays after the error, bottom of the 5th, and the pitch. Hit well down the left field line, fair ball. That'll bring in Kyle Isbell. Coming around to third is Michael Garcia. He gets the wave and scores. A 2-run double for Bobby Witt Jr., and the error has completely flipped the game. It's 3-2 Royals, bottom of the 5th.
And like I said, you can't give good teams extra chances. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr. gave this Royals offense another chance, and they scored 3 runs on his miscue. As Bobby Witt Jr. pulls the hands through and does a nice job keeping that ball fair down the left field line. But you have to catch that baseball.
Kauffman Stadium fired up. The pitch to Vinny Pasquantino, low ball 1. It looked like Gausman was out of the 5th on a ground ball to third by Kyle Isbell. It was dropped at first by Guerrero. That brought in a run, and Witt just scored 2 more for Kansas City. He's on second. Gausman looking at him, and the 1-0. Hit on the ground softly to second. Schneider throws over to first, and that will end the inning. The Royals scored 3 unearned runs on 3 hits, 1 error, and they leave 1 on. 3-2 Kansas City headed to the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Centre. Visit timbermart.ca.
At the core, we are the same. Our games have grown differently, but here we celebrate our similarities. Join us for Cricket Night at the Park, presented by TD. Find your seats at bluejays.com.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
It's sports streaming season. This spring, get set for nonstop action on Sportsnet Plus.
Unbelievable.
Every electrifying game of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Did you see that?
All the knockout moments in UFC. Awe-inspiring action from the NBA playoffs. Plus, the Toronto Blue Jays are back in full swing. Catch all the can't-miss moments that matter most to you. Because when it happens in sports, it happens on Sportsnet Plus. Subscribe at sportsnetplus.ca. This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swanson staring at second. Comes home with a 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the 6th inning, and this ballgame has turned on its head after a 2-out error by Vladimir Guerrero Jr. The Kansas City Royals get 3 runs. They lead 3-2 at the start of the 6th. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Kevin Kiermaier takes ball 1 from Chris Stratton, the reliever for Kansas City, in his 2nd inning of work. The 1-0. Kiermaier swings and lifts the ball to left. It's trouble. Diving and making the play is MJ Melendez. Heck of a catch out there from the left fielder, and there's 1 out.
That's a big out right there, because if Melendez doesn't catch that ball, Kiermaier is probably on third base. He was running hard out of the box. You can see how disappointed he is. He needed that base hit. But Melendez with the great catch, coming in, diving. What a play.
First pitch to George Springer. Hooked to third. Picked up by Garcia. His throw across the diamond is there. 2 down. On the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, the Boston Red Sox lost earlier today to the Cleveland Guardians in Cleveland. Jose Ramirez with a home run. Canadian Josh Naylor with a hit in the game. Will Brennan with 2 hits in 3 tries as well. 4-1 the score, Cleveland over Boston on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. First pitch to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Looked outside, called strike 1 with 2 outs and the bases empty, top of the 6th. 3-2 Kansas City. Guerrero sets up again. And the 0-1. Down low, 1-1.
And again, it didn't look like Guerrero on that play that he dropped that baseball last inning. It didn't look like he wasn't concentrating on the baseball. It didn't look like he took his eye off of it. He just whiffed on it.
1-1 is low, 2-1.
I would love to know why that happened. On the replay, everything looked right. The ball just didn't go in his glove.
Chance to make up for it with the bat here. He's hitless in 3 tries. The 2-1. Low ball 3. First error of the season for Guerrero, a Gold Glover in 2022. Ahead in the count, the 3-1 pitch. Swinging a fly ball foul. Big hack there, trying to erase the deficit in one swing. Now it's 3-2.
Well, that's the count that he's supposed to take that big hack in. 3-1, 2-0. That's when he is allowed to get big. And now that he has 2 strikes on him, he really has to keep that swing compact.
The payoff pitch. Guerrero swings and misses at a sinker, down and in, strike 3. 1-2-3 for Stratton in a flash, and the Royals will come back to the bats in the bottom of the 6th, leading 3-2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Here's what's happening on SiriusXM Sports.
Round 1 of the NBA playoffs rolling along with doubleheader play-by-play action on SiriusXM NBA Radio. First up, the Suns try to even their series with the Timberwolves in Minnesota, followed by the Clippers and the Mavericks from LA, with the home team going for a 2-0 series edge. It all begins at 7:30 Eastern on your 24/7 home for hoops, SiriusXM NBA Radio, Channel 86.
SiriusXM Sports, wherever you are. Your team plays here.
The South Carolina Gamecocks are on top of the women's college basketball world yet again.
Perfection for South Carolina. 38 games, 38 wins.
We're reacting to the perfect season and talking to the biggest names right here on Channel 374.
Congratulations, Coach Saley. What does this particular title mean to you?
This title is pretty special because it was unexpected.
Keep it locked into SiriusXM SEC Radio as we continue to break it all down and celebrate the Gamecocks' 3rd national title.
Blue Jays fans, your manager, Sean Schneider, joins MLB Network Radio's Power Alley every other Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern.
I got all the confidence in the world in Joe Romano. I've known him for a long time. I know his demeanor. And I always say, when you're talking about a closer giving up a couple runs in the 9th inning, it's just so much more magnified than a starting pitcher giving up a 2-run homer.
Managers at the mic on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89 and the SXM app.
In season or out of season, the #1 place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the 6th inning in Kansas City, the Blue Jays trailing the Royals 3-2. Salvador Perez leads off for Kansas City. Kevin Gausman back on the mound after 3 unearned runs in the 5th. The pitch. Fastball away, 1-0. Even with that inning extended, 72 pitches now for Gausman after he missed down and away there. A very comfortable pitch count to start the 6th. The 1-0 is smoked down the left field line and rolling into the corner. Perez around first. He'll jog into second with a stand-up double.
Just a split finger that he left over the middle. Almost the same pitch that Bobby Witt Jr. hit down the line in the last inning. Good hitters, they hit mistakes. That's what they do. And Salvador Perez drilled that ball into the corner on a hanging split, and Bobby Witt Jr. did the same thing.
So runner on second, nobody out for MJ Melendez, who made that diving catch in the top half of the inning. The pitch, low ball 1. By the way, not sure why, but Kevin Kiermaier has exited the game. He batted last inning and now has been taken out. Dalton Varsho's in center. Davis Schneider in left field, and Kevin Biggio's entered and playing second. The 1-0. Low ball 2. If we see anything online or get more word on that, we'll let you know. Time asked for by Melendez. Gausman will step off the rubber. Not the most fun last 2 half innings for Kevin Gausman. The 2-0. Outside 3-0. Not only does his scoreless inning turn into a 3-run inning on an error, then the Blue Jays go down 1-2-3 very quickly, and that can't be fun as a pitcher to then have to go right back out on the mound. A look at Perez after his double. The 3-0 to Melendez. Hit foul, 3-1.
Yeah, you're exhausted after a long inning. He needs a little bit of a breather. You probably want your offense to at least score a run, maybe tie this ball game up, and then you're back out on the mound in 3 or 4 minutes. That is not an ideal situation.
Gausman's 3-1. Lifted to shallow right. Springer jogging over. It's in right center now, and Varsho will take charge and make the catch. Perez has to stay at second. 1 out. Blue Jays looking ahead right now. Genesis Cabrera is getting loose, the lefty right now in left field. There is Adam Frazier, a left-handed hitter, up now. Then Dairon Blanco, a right-handed hitter. Then a pair of lefties at the bottom of the lineup in Michael Massey and Kyle Isbell. Frazier's 1 for 2. Started off the last inning with a double in the bottom of the 5th. Was thrown out trying to score on a comebacker to Gausman. First pitch outside, 1-0.
Well, Genesis Cabrera is a guy that really needs to get going for this ball club. He was so big last year in the second half, and we saw in his last outing, although he gave up a walk and a hit and an earned run, the stuff is starting to tick back up.
1-0 pitch. Hit softly on the ground to short. Picked up by Bichette. Sidearm throw to first there with a stretch toward right field from Vlad. Perez took off on contact, so he'll move up to third, but now 2 outs for Gausman.
Yeah, Isaiah Connor-Falefa wasn't even on third base. He was crossing over Bo Bichette as he made that play. So even if Bo wanted to go to third base, nobody was there to throw the baseball to, so he had to go to first base.
3-2 Royals. Perez on third, 2 outs. Dairon Blanco up, who's 0 for 2 with a ground ball to short and a ground ball to second. Gausman steps off. On Friday, May 17th, Country Night returns to Rogers Center. Dust off your cowboy hat and boots and get ready for some country western themed activities and photo opportunities throughout the ballpark with a live pregame performance from Owen Rigling. Go to BlueJays.com/country to purchase your ticket. First pitch strike against Blanco, 0-1. Blanco searching for his first RBI of the season. The 0-1. Downstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And that's a big run on third base. You have to make good pitches here. Throw that sinker down in the zone. Throw that splitty down. No hanging splitties here. Even if you walk him, you walk him.
Blue Jays would love to keep it at 1. They have Bo Bichette, Justin Turner, and Dalton Varsho hitting next inning. The pitch. Swing and a miss with the splitter. 1-2.
Good pitch right there. Started down the middle, started in the zone, and then drops right off the table.
Gausman with only 1 strikeout tonight, but he hasn't walked anyone and has forced a ton of ground balls. All 3 runs unearned against the right-handed starter. The 1-2. Went low with the splitter this time. Blanco wise to it. He lays off. Gausman adjusts his cap, looks in toward Kirk. Adjusting the back of his hat now, he comes set. Perez on third, 2 down. Gausman's 85th pitch of the day. Swing and a miss, strike 3. A spin off the mound and a fist pump from Gausman, his second strikeout of the day, to strand the leadoff double and keep the Blue Jays within 1. 3-2 for the Royals at the end of 6. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
How can Blue Jays closer Jordan Romano improve on his already iconic entrance from the bullpen? Tim Meza and Eric Swanson had their own thoughts.
Hear me out. We shoot you out of a cannon. Picture this. Gate opens and you ride in on a moose. One word, roller skate. Super trendy right now.
Romano's thoughts?
I appreciate the ideas, but I got this.
On Monday, May 20th, the first 15,000 fans will get a Jordan Romano blue replica jersey. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
So that's a no on the moose?
Bring excitement to your landscape with proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better. So they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs, in the distinctive white container at your local garden center. Or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
New pitcher for the Kansas City Royals, John Schreiber, is into the game, trying to protect Kansas City's 3-2 lead. It's the top of the 7th inning at Kauffman Stadium, and Bo Bichette will lead off for Toronto. Appreciate you hanging around on this Tuesday night. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Schreiber twists to lean forward towards Perez. Now comes set. His first pitch to Bichette, sidearmed in there for strike one at 93 miles an hour. An ERA below 1 for the right-hander, who typically is kind of the setup man for the Royals, but they bring him in here in the 7th. A 1 pitch. Swinging a ground ball to third. Picked up by Garcia. Throw hop. Crow hop in a throw. And he gets Bichette for the first out. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left, Chris LaRue. Show Ali, our host and producer. Tom Young, our technical director. Blair and Barker host Jays Talk after the game. Justin Turner steps up, 2 for 3 today with a run and an RBI. 3-2 Kansas City, top of the 7th, 1 out. The pitch. Inside. Schreiber, the former Red Sox, traded to the Royals in February for a minor league pitcher. 1-0. Called strike. Teammates with Justin Turner last year, but did miss 2 months on the 60-day IL with the same injury that Chad Green is dealing with right now, a right teres major strain. 1-1. Turner takes it again. Called strike, and it's 1-2.
I told you. You told me that Chad Green would be throwing, or somebody said.
I reported what the manager said, which was that it would be at least a few days until.
And I said it would be a month until we saw him.
1-2. Turner fouls it off.
I've seen that injury a lot over the years, and it's an injury that you have to rest. You can't rush it. It's something that needs to be just healed on its own before you can even start to throw. That's why I said a month. It could be longer. It could be 2 months. Who knows?
1-2. Turner fouls a fastball back. Schreiber, the Royals reliever, actually debuted in Major League Baseball against the Royals for the Detroit Tigers. Is 1-2 to Turner again. Check swing on a slider outside. They called it a sweeper, actually. It's 2-2.
Schreiber's actually got really funky stuff. Kind of like a sidearm delivery. He ducks down before he throws. You don't really see deliveries like that very often.
The bearded righty's 2-2. Turner gives it a ride down the left field line, but it hooks foul. And they'll do it again at 2 balls, 2 strikes. That was a hanging sweeper, but Turner was just a little bit too far in front of it.
Into a section full of dogs.
1 out, base is empty, 2-2. Turner gets it off the handle and pops it up. Back of second, Massey out in right field, makes the catch, 2 outs. On the St. Louis Bar and Grill out of town scoreboard, the Los Angeles Dodgers will be the next team to face the Blue Jays, a series starting on the weekend in Toronto, and the Dodgers up 4-1 on the Washington Nationals. Shohei Ohtani just clubbed a homer to right field to extend their lead. Teoscar Hernandez batting right now for the Dodgers in the top of the 9th. Here's Dalton Varsho, 1 for 2 with a walk, a double, and a stolen base. The pitch. Called strike one. 3-2 Royals over the Blue Jays. Top of the 7th, 2 down, and the base is empty. Right on left matchup. Here's the 0-1. Varsho takes outside. If the Blue Jays don't come back, certainly the error will be a talking point. Cost the Blue Jays 3 runs in the bottom of the 5th. But also in the top of the 5th, after Varsho's double, what happened? 1-1, low 2-1. When Varsho doubled, he and Justin Turner were on 2nd and 3rd respectively with 1 out. Davis Schneider was hit by a pitch to load the bases with 1 out. Blue Jays got 1 run out of it. At the time, made it 2-0, but they did not add on the 2-1 pitch. Varsho lofts it down the left field line, foul territory. Third baseman Mark Garcia on the side warning track makes the catch and ends the inning. 8 Blue Jays in a row have been set down and headed to the bottom of the 7th inning. It's 3-2 for the Royals over Toronto. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute-truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks. So give us a call today.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You could bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Sundays are for Junior Jays, and with all kinds of cool new games and activities in the exciting outfield district areas, there's no end to the family fun you'll have.
If you're feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
Thursdays on City TV.
Find me a body.
Start with Law & Order at 7, featuring Tony Goldwyn as the new district attorney.
I need to know that I have a team I can trust.
Then, it's the smash hit, Law & Order Toronto Criminal Intent at 8.
The case is a slam dunk.
Followed by SVU at 9.
I'm on my way.
And Organized Crime at 10.
I just want the truth.
Law & Order Thursday. A lineup so stacked, it's almost criminal. It all starts at 7 on City TV.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Springer charges the ball to left field. It's in the seats, and the Blue Jays are on the board.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Kevin Gausman pitches into the 7th inning for the first time this season. Welcome back, Blue Jays at Kauffman Stadium, trailing 3-2 to the Royals. Gausman's first pitch to Michael Massey. Fastball at the knees, strike one. All 3 runs against Gausman unearned. One coming on an error with 2 outs in the 5th, and the other 2 after that error when the inning should have been over. Next pitch, swing and a miss, and Gausman quickly ahead of Michael Massey, the left-handed hitter, 0-2.
Gausman just throwing his 88th pitch of the day. We thought that it would be Nate Pearson or Genesis Cabrera coming out for this 7th inning. Gausman ending the day on a positive note.
0-2 is hooked on the ground to second, picked up by Biggio, his throw to first in time, 1 out.
But I'm almost wondering, maybe John Schneider, maybe Pete Walker had a chat with him in the dugout, and Kevin Gausman said, I am going out and I'm throwing 100 pitches today. I want to throw 7 innings. And that's generally how it goes with guys like that who have 10 years in the big leagues. They tell the coaches how long they want to pitch in a ball game.
He went 101 pitches in his last start. That was only over 5 innings. But he's been very efficient today. A lot of ground balls. His first pitch to Kyle Isbell. Fastball for strike one, and he's still got 94 on that heater on pitch 90. Isbell was the guy who hit the ground ball to third base, where the error was committed at first by Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 0-1. Low 1-1. If you weren't with us, it was a throw from IKF across his body, and Vladdy just dropped the ball over at first. Isbell was safe. Michael Massey came in to score, and then Bobby Witt would end up doubling in 2 more after a Michael Garcia single as well. Didn't hurt Gausman's individual numbers. While obviously it hurts the team. They're down 3-2 instead of up 2-0. 1-1. Bounced to second again. Picked up by Biggio again. The throw in time again. And there are 2 outs.
And this is the best Gausman has looked all game. He's looked in control. I know it's a small sample size, only 2 hitters, but he's dotting up that fastball and he's dotting up that split finger. Why not go 8 innings?
I was going to say, heck, if he gets another out in a pitch or 2, maybe you do.
I'm sure he has a heated argument with Pete Walker in the dugout after this. And
got to get Michael Garcia, though. First pitch, fouled off, 0-1. Garcia with 2 hits today off Gausman. 1 in the first inning, and then that hit in the 8th inning that put runners on the corners for Bobby Witt to double in. Garcia with 4 homers on the year. More power this year for the third-year player. He hit his 4th homer on July 24th last year. 0-1 is 97 at the knees. Strike 2.
That's something we've seen from him this year. Early on in ball games, he's been sometimes low to mid-90s, and then late in ball games like this, 94th pitch, he just threw a 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
His 0-2, splitter low. Do you think that helps get guys to chase at the splitter when the fastball is just a little bit harder?
Oh, definitely. Velo helps. I think location matters more than velo, but I was never a high velo guy, so if you ask Kevin Gausman, he probably says that velo helps.
With 2 outs, the 1-2. Smoked foul down the left field line on the ground.
The biggest thing with his split finger, though, and I've said this a million times, is it has to look like a strike and it has to look like a fastball out of the hands. Those are the 2 most important things. Of course, throwing 97 helps, but it has to look like a hittable strike fastball out of the hand.
Bases empty, 2 down, 3-2 Royals. The 1-2, low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gausman trying to get through 7 innings here. He's at 97 pitches. Gausman got through 7 9 times last year. His 2-2 is low, and it's a full count.
Pete Walker holding that pitch counter in his hand and staring at it. He knows that he's about to throw his 99th pitch of the game. This might be his last batter.
Bobby Witt Jr. on deck. Gausman adjusts the back of his cap, nods, bouncing on that front left foot, kicks, fires the 3-2. It's a splitter hooked foul, and they'll do it again. James MacArthur getting loose for the Kansas City Royals. Typically the closer, but it looks like he's getting loose to maybe come in for the 8th inning of this game. MacArthur has 4 of Kansas City's 6 saves so far this season. 3-2 again. Inside ball 4. A 2-out walk to Garcia on Gausman's 100th pitch of the day. John Schneider bounces out of the third base dugout, and that's going to be the day for Kevin Gausman. He goes 6 2/3 and for now has not given up an earned run. 3 unearned runs after an error in the 5th. His only blemish. A nice step forward for Gausman, but the Blue Jays still trail 3-2. Nate Pearson about to come in to face Bobby Witt Jr. Let's go to baseball control. Here's Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben. Before we check the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, one more reminder that we do have Jays Talk tonight. Blair and Barker will have the post-game show. They will take your phone calls after the final out. As always, they are here all week long for this entire Royals series at Kauffman Stadium. Game 1 of the Dodgers series at the Rogers Center, which begins on Friday as well. All right, on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, let's start in the NBA. 3 games on the schedule tonight. Suns at Timberwolves. Minnesota up 1-0 in the series. They lead the Suns 84-76 in the 4th quarter. Pacers at Bucks. Milwaukee leads that series 1-0. They trail the Pacers 60-55 at halftime of that game. In about 15 minutes, Tip-off of Mavericks-Clippers will go. LA up 1-0 in that series. Again, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, round 1 action continues. Capitals at Rangers, game 2 on the go right now. Rangers lead that series 1-0. Right now, New York 4-3. Actually, seconds ago, Rangers just grabbing a 4-3 win. So the Rangers now lead that series 2-0. Vincent Trocheck, Mika Zibanejad, Jack Roslovic, and Keandre Miller all scoring in that game. Battle of Florida, game 2 on as well. Lightning at Panthers. The Cats up 1-0 in the series. Right now in Sunrise, the game tied at 2. Sergei Bobrovsky with a ludicrous save to keep the game tied. You can watch that game on Sportsnet 360. Avalanche at Jets also getting going as well. Winnipeg leads that series 1-0. Watch it on the CBC and, of course, Sportsnet Plus. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Back to the action. Nate Pearson on the mound. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you, Show. We're here in the Timber Mart broadcast booth. Nate Pearson trying to keep the Blue Jays deficit at just 1. Maikel Garcia walked, the lone walk of Kevin Gausman's 6 2/3 inning start. And it's a tough test right now for Pearson going up against Bobby Witt Jr. Again, 3-2, runner on first, 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. First pitch slider misses down 1-0. Witt's 2-out double after the error in the 5th is the difference in the game. Knocked in 2 to give the Royals a 3-2 lead. Next pitch. Slider misses down and away again. 2-0.
And last time Pearson pitched, he walked 3 guys in just an inning and a third.
Gave up his first runs of the season. Out of his 32 pitches, only 14 strikes. His 2-0. Fastball foul tipped back. 95 on the outside edge, 2-1.
And I think that's what he needs to learn to do. He needs to throw good or well-located fastballs early in counts. He tends to throw that slider early in counts, and he gets behind just like he was.
Slider hit foul, 2-2. His slider usage has ticked up from about a quarter of the time last season to almost 40% of the time this season. He came into spring with a new splitter, but it's really been the usage of the slider that's changed the most for Pearson. 2 outs, the 2-2 to Witt. Fastball yanked down and away, full count.
And you can see him really pulling off with that front shoulder. He needs to stay on his target, keep that front shoulder right at the glove of Alejandro Kirk. That target was up, and he missed by a lot with that fastball.
Runner will get a head start. Garcia. Guerrero holding him on. The 3-2. Fastball hit up the middle on the ground. It rolls through and into center field. Garcia around second. He's at third. He'll stop there. The ball bounces away from second base, but both runners hold as Guerrero picks it up in the middle of the diamond. It's runners on the corners now for the Royals. Here comes Vinny Pasquantino.
That actually wasn't a bad pitch from Nate Pearson. 99 in on the hands of Bobby Witt Jr., but he's so good, so quick. Pulls those hands through and kind of just hits a dribbler up the middle, but finds that hole up the middle. And that's kind of what happens when you fall behind. Guys guess fastball. They're in a fastball hitting count. Bobby Witt Jr., it's really hard to hit a 99-mile-an-hour fastball in on the hands, but Bobby Witt Jr. was thinking a fastball was coming right there.
Pasquantino, a left-handed hitter. First pitch. Fastball demolished. Right field. If it's fair, it's gone. But it hooks foul. 0-1. That ball was absolutely tattooed out to right field. Over 100 miles an hour off the bat. And if that's 10 to 20 feet straighter, it's a blown open game at 6-2. Instead, a loud strike. Here's the 0-1. Slider misses down and in. Throw over to third by Kirk. Caught by IKF. Runner gets back standing. That foul ball by Pasquantino, 383 feet to right field.
On a line, too.
It's only 330 to that pole. He hit it way over the wall, but just foul. Witt took off on the last pitch, by the way. Went to second. 1-1 in the dirt. Blocked by Kirk. For Bobby Witt, his 5th stolen base of the year. The Blue Jays just checked at third rather than throwing through. So now a single potentially could cash in 2 for Pasquantino. Second and third, 2 down. 3-2 Royals, bottom of the 7th. The 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball in there, strike one. Or pardon me, strike two. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Pasquantino 0 for 3, but on an 11-game hit streak. Pearson set at the chest, kicks and fires. And it's a grounder hit sharply foul down the right field line. They'll do it again at 2-2.
Yeah, I think he's shying away from that fastball after he got. Sorry, after Pasquantino.
After Pasquantino hit the big fly ball.
Gosh.
I got you. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. Got him to chase the rare curve from Nate Pearson, and that ends the inning. It was a tightrope act, but Pearson keeps the deficit for the Blue Jays at just one. 3-2 Royals headed to the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
It's NFL Draft Week, and Sports Grid Radio is the only channel talking about the impact every pick has on the sports books. How many trades and how many players drafted at each position.
I don't think they're going to get to 10 when it comes to offensive linemen taken in the first round.
We'll track all the picks as they come off the board and update the live impact on Super Bowl odds and team win totals for the upcoming season.
8 is a good season. They're more in the neighborhood of 5 or 6.
Follow the NFL Draft starting Thursday at 8 in the East on Sports Grid Radio, channel 159 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your SiriusXM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on SiriusXM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. SiriusXM Sports. We're more than just a game.
Hello, Blue Jay fans. I'm Craig Ballard, host of your daily Locked On Blue Jays podcast. Locked On Blue Jays is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On Blue Jays brings you the latest Blue Jays news and analysis and breaks down all of the action. Locked On Blue Jays is everything a Blue Jays fan could want, all in a 30-minute daily podcast. Download Locked On Blue Jays right now on the SXM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or wherever you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Blue Jays.
Blue Jays fans, after this game, get back to what's really important. Your fantasy football team. We're talking about it right now on Fantasy Sports Radio, Channel 87, and the SiriusXM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Tight ball game, Blue Jays and Royals, top of the 8th inning. 3-2, Kansas City leads at home after a 3-run 5th inning, aided by an error. Blue Jays will try to get to the third reliever for the Royals today. Typically the closer, James MacArthur, comes on in the 8th. His pitch to Davis Schneider. Swing and a hot shot, grounder to short. Picked up in shallow left by Witt. Strong throw to first. Big stretch by Pasquantino into the splits for the first out. A second straight day with a phenomenal defensive play from Bobby Witt Jr. 1 out.
Such a good play, both from Witt and Pasquantino. Good stretch at first base there. A good backhand from Bobby Witt and a really strong throw across the diamond to get Davis Schneider. What a stretch.
Really good stretch from Pasquantino. That's full splits, right heel on the ground, toe up to the sky. First pitch to Alejandro Kirk with 1 out. High and in, ball 1.
That replay hurt.
Yeah, that's not a position I'm getting into anytime soon. MacArthur, the third reliever after Schreiber and Stratton. 1-0. Top of the zone strike, 1-1. Right-hander actually leads with his curveball. He throws almost 40% of the time, but will throw the sinker a lot and the slider a lot as well. The 1-1. Curveball in there. It's a sharp curve at 84 miles an hour, 1-2. Kirk 0 for 2, had a sac fly in the 5th. The pitch. Down and away. Evens up the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, that thing is really sharp. Good tight spin, sharp break. Even on that backup one that he threw just before that one, Alejandro Kirk kind of buckled just a little bit.
Kirk searching for his first homer of the season. The 2-2. Down with the curveball again, full count. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa on deck. Blue Jays have Danny Jansen, Ernie Clement, and Daniel Vogelbach available on the bench. Payoff pitch. High and in, ball 4. Kirk aboard for the first time today with a walk as he ducks out of the way of that fastball. And I'd wonder if they think about pinch running here, down 1 run. It looks like Kirk will remain at first. No, Danny Jansen is going to pinch run. Rather than using 2 guys off the bench in 1 swap, they keep the bat of Clement available going forward, and they add some speed on the base paths with Jansen taking over at first.
A little bit of speed.
More than was there before. Better chance to score on a double.
Better chance. You're right. You're right. I'm just being negative.
So 1-out walk. Here's Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. 1 for 2 with a single and a walk today. It's reached 4 times in 2 games already in this series against the Royals. Salvador Perez going out to the mound to talk to MacArthur. Jogs back behind the plate, and IKF is ready to go. The right-on-right pitch. Fastball over the plate, strike 1. IKF has 3 doubles, a triple, and 2 homers so far this season. Or 1 homer, pardon me. 0-1 pitch. Check swing on a pitch outside. Appeal down to first. He did not go around. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
And something I can immediately see from MacArthur is he's digging in his glove. He didn't dig on that first pitch fastball, but on that slider there, he was digging in his glove. I wonder if IKF sees it.
1-1. Bounced up the middle. This should be 2. Flip by Massey to Witt for 1. Over to first. Inning ending. Double play. The 1-out walk erased on a 4-6-3 twin killing ground ball. We go to the bottom of the 8th with the Blue Jays trailing 3-2 to the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
How can Blue Jays closer Jordan Romano improve on his already iconic entrance from the bullpen? Tim Meza and Eric Swanson had their own thoughts.
Hear me out. We shoot you out of a cannon. Picture this. Gate opens and you ride in on a moose. 1 word, roller skate. Super trendy right now.
Romano's thoughts?
I appreciate the ideas, but I got this.
On Monday, May 20th, the first 15,000 fans will get a Jordan Romano blue replica jersey. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
So that's a no on the moose?
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
The chase for the greatest trophy in sport is on.
Listen to this building.
The Stanley Cup playoffs are here on Sportsnet.
Are you ready for this?
Be here for all the history.
Big stage, big stars. Let's go.
Be here for the action.
Who is going to be the hero tonight?
Every shift, every goal can make all the difference.
This is what the Stanley Cup playoffs are all about.
Stanley Cup champions.
The Cup is here on Sportsnet.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Kikuchi has struck out 4 of the last 6.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. 3-2 Royals, bottom of the 8th inning. Tim Meza, the left-hander, is on for the Blue Jays to face Salvador Perez and then a pair of left-handed hitters in MJ Melendez and Adam Frazier. First pitch to Perez, called strike 1. The 2015 World Series MVP is 1 for 3 today with a double and a pair of flyouts. 0-1. Hit sharply toward Bichette's backhand side. Picked up. Throw from the left field grass. There. Out number 1. Really nice play from Bo Bichette at short.
Yeah, that was a lot like Bobby Witt's play in the last inning. Although Guerrero at first base didn't have to stretch quite as far. But with Salvador Perez up at the plate, it gave Bo Bichette the chance to plant his feet and make a good, strong throw across the diamond.
Tim Mayza with an emphatic point out at Bichette after that out was recorded. He's back on the rubber. A left-on-left pitch to MJ Melendez, called strike one. 3-2 Royals, bottom of the 8th. 1 out, bases empty, and the 0-1. Chopped off of the left elbow, I think, of Melendez. And it's 0-2. He was almost out of the batter's box. He wasn't, but if you hit yourself and you're both your feet are out of the batter's box, you're actually out. Provided it's fair, not a foul ball. 0-2. Spike to sinker, 95 from Mayza. Now, he yanked it way down and away, but he's been a little bit more 92 right now.
I don't mind that. I'm just happy to see a 95 out of him.
Velocity was down to start the year. Things have looked better recently. 1-2 pitch, broken bat, roller to second. Biggio picks it up. He'll throw to first, 2 outs.
Melendez breaks his bat on that good sinker on the inside part of the plate. Danny Jansen was set up on the black on the inside, and Tim Mayza hits that target. That's a good sign because early on in this season, not only was the velocity down, the command was off.
Be big if the Blue Jays can get a scoreless inning here, too. Not using the highest leverage guys like Romano, Garcia, Swanson. First pitch to Nelson Velasquez, the pinch hitter, down and away, 1-0. Velasquez comes in for Adam Frazier to make it a right-handed hitter that Tim Mayza will face. 2 outs, base is empty, the 1-0. Off the end of the bat, foul down the right field line, out of play. For the Blue Jays in the top of the 9th, it'll be Cavan Biggio, George Springer, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Slider started on the outside edge, cut all the way across and off the plate to the inside edge, and Velasquez ripped through it.
Well, that was a bigger slider than Tim Mayza normally throws. It's normally that tight slider, that back foot slider that almost looks like a cutter, but that one was very big, almost like a sweeper.
He threw it hard at 87. Mayza's 10th pitch of the appearance. Fastball fouled back. They wanted to go inside, left it over the plate, but Velasquez was late.
Yeah, that ball was middle. I think Tim Mayza got away with one there.
2 outs on ground outs so far. Nobody on. 3-2 Royals. The 1-2. Bounce the slider. 2 balls, 2 strikes. We'll see if James MacArthur comes out for his second inning of work for the Royals in the 9th, or if they go elsewhere for the save. 2-2. Fastball, froze him, strike 3. A very tidy 1-2-3 inning for Tim Mayza, aided by a nice play at short from Bo Bichette. Last chance for the Blue Jays, top of the 9th coming. They trail 3-2 with Biggio, Springer, Guerrero batting next. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Eric Church, Kelly Roll, Miranda Lambert, and more will light up the desert at Stagecoach 2024.
SiriusXM takes you there with live performances and all the action backstage.
What a night, Stagecoach. Stagecoach 2024, all weekend.
Starting Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific, with the Music Row Happy Hour, live from the festival grounds.
Music's fantastic. People are fantastic. This is America, baby.
On the highway, channel 56.
And the SiriusXM app.
While you're listening to this game on SiriusXM, we're talking about the latest odds and prop bets for this and every game on Sports Grid Radio.
The under's minus 125. Heavy juice to the under.
Every home run hit and every strikeout thrown can change the line.
I can't for the life of me figure out how you can say for a team that never wins, ever.
If you're looking for sports talk centered around the latest odds and prop bets for games, races, tournaments, or any sporting event, Sports Grid Radio, SiriusXM, Channel 159.
This is Bob Kendrick, president of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum and host of the SiriusXM original podcast, Black Diamonds. Hear stories about the legends of the Negro Leagues and conversations with the all-time greats they've influenced, like 5-time World Series champion Derek Jeter.
I don't care what race you are. You need to know your past. This is U.S. history. It's not just baseball history.
Hear over 70 episodes of the award-winning Black Diamonds podcast, available now on the SiriusXM app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win whichever fantasy sport you play. Right now on Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, Show Ali, our host and producer, Tom Young, our technical director, and Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker following the game. 3-2, the Royals lead the Blue Jays out for a second inning of work. James McArthur, the closer, pitches to Cavan Biggio and misses low, 1-0. One defensive change for the Royals. Rangy Garrett Hampson takes over in left field for MJ Melendez as the Royals try to even up the series. The 1-0. Biggio swings and bounces a ball into the hole at second. Sliding stop, Massey dropped the ball, picks it up, throw late. The call is safe at first. Massey bobbled it on the slide, bounced the throw, and immediately past Quintino, turning to his dugout. They will make the headphone signal, and there's going to be a review here, a challenge by the Royals.
Well, a really nice pick from Pasquantino at first base. And Cavan Biggio, from this point of view, it looked like he was out. I need to see the replay.
Challenging the safe call at first base.
Oh, he is safe. I just saw the replay. He's safe.
Oh, it's really close.
I don't think they can change that. They might, but I don't think they can change that.
It's really close, and it's hard to see exactly when Biggio's foot comes down from the side angle where you could see the ball going into the glove because Massey's foot almost blocks it. I believe in New York they have the ability to sync up different looks at once so they can see, okay, at this exact frame, let's look at one and look at the other.
Oh, I think the call is going to stand.
It's so close, though. Call on the field is safe, which is to the benefit of the Blue Jays. This would be big to put the tying run on base. Here comes the call.
After review, the call on the field is overturned. The runner is out. Kansas City will retain their challenge.
By fractions of a second, Michael Massey makes the play, and Cavan Biggio, who almost singled to start the ninth in his first at-bat of the day, coming off the bench for Kevin Kiermaier in the bottom of the sixth. Instead, he's retired after the overturned call. Here's George Springer with one out. 3-2 Royals, top of the ninth. McArthur looking for his 5th save of the year. And the first pitch is a breaking ball for strike one.
I just didn't think there was indisputable evidence.
They have looks, though, that...
Yeah, that's true.
And capabilities that we just don't see. The 0-1. A miss down and away. Springer has 2 hits today and a run scored. 2 home runs on the season, but both came in the Tampa Bay series to begin the year. 1-1. Missed outside with a fastball. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. on deck. McArthur reaches back and fires. Springer lines the ball to right field, sinking and down. A 3rd single of the day for George Springer. He's clapping at first, pointing back to the dugout, trying to fire them up. He's the tying run right now, standing on first base.
And like he did in those first 2 singles that he hit today, he's using the big part of the field. You can clearly see him trying to go the other way. He's not pulling off. That front shoulder is staying in. That's a nice swing right there and a nice result for George Springer.
And wouldn't this be big? Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at the plate. 1 out, runner on first. Blue Jays down 3-2. First pitch. Fastball right down the middle. Strike one.
Ooh, he wants that one back. That was middle. That is his pitch to swing at.
Guerrero 0 for 4 and committed the error that scored the first Kansas City run and extended the inning with 2 outs for the next 2 runs. The 0-1 inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Guerrero with 3 home runs this season. Also 3 doubles. Springer has the speed to score from first on a double if it's hit to the right spot. 1-1 pitch. Off the end of the bat, a roller to second. Springer leaps over the ball. It's picked up by Massey, who throws to first. Guerrero retired. Springer is in scoring position now, though. And Bo Bichette's at the plate.
Well, a big at-bat for Bo Bichette. Runner in scoring position, 2 outs. This is where you make your money.
They're on their feet at Kauffman Stadium. Eric Swanson loosening up should the game continue. It's 3-2 Royals, 2 outs, top of the 9th. Springer on second. The pitch to Bichette is hit on the ground to third. Picked up by Garcia. A step and a throw to first. That's the ball game. Blue Jays pitching combines for 8 innings of 0 earned runs. But the Blue Jays lose on 3 unearned runs. It's a 3-2 win for the Kansas City Royals.
Yeah, I don't think we need to harp on the obvious. Vlad Guerrero with that error to give up the 3 runs. But I think I want to focus more on the fact that Kevin Gausman grinded through this game with stuff that really wasn't his best stuff. And he grinded and got through 6 2/3 innings, giving up 0 earned runs. Yes, he only struck out 2, but that was because he didn't have his best command. He didn't have his best stuff. But when a guy like that gives you 6 2/3 innings of quality baseball, you have to reward him by making the plays you're supposed to make. And that's what happened. You give a good offense extra chances, and they'll score 3 unearned runs on you.
It's tough for Gausman. It's his second start in a row where he pitched well enough to win the game, and factors outside of himself prevented him and the Blue Jays from picking up the win. They fall to 3-2, and the Blue Jays and Royals now tied 1-1 in the series. We'll wrap this one up on the other side and send you off to Blue Jays talk. Stick around. Royals win 3-2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bring excitement to your landscape with Proven Winners Color Choice shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better. So they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for Proven Winners Color Choice shrubs in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza, and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca. We're 2 men and a truck. And we've got lots of men and lots of trucks. Whether you're planning a move to a new home or to a new office down the hall, big or small, we move them all. We even sell packing and moving supplies. But no matter what you need, we'll do it with a smile. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. So when you're planning your next move, call 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep, because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Fastball cracked to center field, to the wall, to the track. It's gone.
On
on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The Blue Jays fall 3-2 in the second game of the series, leave some runners on, and get bit by a tough play in the fifth inning where the Royals capitalize and score 3 runs. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. We'll get you to Blue Jays talk with Blair and Barker in just a moment. But first, let's look back at it, Chris. Kevin Gausman against Michael Wacha. And Gausman, you mentioned that he was really good grinding through it today. He went 6 2/3, pitched into the 7th for the first time today. 7 hits, 3 runs, but none of them earned. 1 walk, only 2 strikeouts, but he seemed to make that work. He forced a ton of ground balls and got a pair of double plays as well in the game.
Yeah, he was a little bit off. You could tell, like a lot like Chris Bassett was on Sunday against San Diego. There was just something wrong early on I could detect. And I don't mean wrong like he's hurt. I just mean something's affecting him. He's not finishing his pitches. He was cutting off his fastball and that split finger early on. A lot of a lot of glove side pitches. And when I say grind, I just mean that he just fought something all game long. And good pitchers can throw 6 2/3 innings grinding through a baseball game, giving up 0 earned runs. And the strikeout number is probably because he didn't have his best stuff. We saw a 97 late in that ball game, but for the most part, he was 93, 94, and that's not his best fastball. I think the later he got in that ball game in the 6th and 7th inning, that split finger really started to work for him. But by that point, the damage had already been done.
On the other side, the Blue Jays get Michael Wacha for 8 hits. They walked 3 times, only struck out 4 times in 4 1/3, but they only come up with 2 runs. 2 runners aboard at different times in the first, don't score. 2 runners aboard in the second, don't score. They did knock in their first run of the game on a Justin Turner infield single in the 3rd inning, but they get the bases loaded there with 2 outs, don't score. They only scored 1 with the bases loaded and 1 out in the 5th on Alejandro Kirk's sac fly, and didn't really do much in the 6th to the 9th, but it felt like left some opportunities out there in the 1st to 5th inning.
Yeah, I think that was it's a tough ball game overall. You look back at it and there were some missed opportunities, but I think the glaring thing overall will be that Vlad error. I think we can't not mention that. I think, like I said, when it happened, it didn't look to me like he took his eyes off the ball or he was a little bit nonchalant. He was doing everything right. He was watching the baseball into his glove, and for whatever reason, just absolutely whiffed on it. And I would love to ask him. I won't, because I would never ask him that question, but why didn't you catch that baseball? What happened during that moment? Because there wasn't a glaring reason why he didn't catch that baseball. Just one of those moments where you whiff on something and you wish you had another chance at it.
That was in the 5th inning. Kevin Gausman had given up a leadoff double to Adam Frazier, got a ground out, and then actually retired Frazier, who was trying to score from 3rd on a comebacker to the mound. Gausman got him in a rundown. Michael Massey, who hit the ground ball, went all the way to 2nd, but there were 2 outs and a runner on 2nd, ground ball to 3rd. IKF runs across in front of Bichette at short, throws over to 1st, dropped by Guerrero. We've talked about that enough. We'll leave that to Blair and Parker after the game. But that scores the first run. Maikel Garcia with a bloop single into center to make it 1st and 3rd. And that brought up Bobby Witt, who on the first pitch of his at-bat has our play of the game. Here's Bobby Witt Jr., 1st and 3rd, 2 outs. 2-1 Blue Jays after the error. Bottom of the 5th, and the pitch. Hit well down the left field line, fair ball. That'll bring in Kyle Isbell. Coming around to 3rd is Maikel Garcia. He gets the wave and scores. A 2-run double for Bobby Witt Jr., and the error has completely flipped the game. It's 3-2 Royals, bottom of the 5th.
Bobby Witt Jr., such a good player. He was 3 for 4 in this ball game. He's hitting .316 now. But I didn't say this out loud, but before, I should have, but before that at bat, I thought that they should be careful with Bobby Witt Jr. They should not pitch around him, but they should be careful with him. Throw really good strikes, and if not, just outside of the strike zone. And Unfortunately, Kevin Gausman threw a middle pitch, and Bobby Witt hits mistakes. He's a guy that hits mistakes. Salvador Perez hits mistakes, and good hitters, that's what they do.
Yeah, I mean, it had been a long inning for Gausman, and the command gets away from him there, and Salvador Perez looming on deck, maybe put some pressure on to get Witt as well, and that ended up being the decider. The Blue Jays did come up with a hit in the ninth from George Springer, almost had a hit to start the inning from Cavan Biggio, overturned upon review, but they get that hit from Springer. He gets to second after Vladdy grounds out, but Bo Bichette's ground out to third ends the game. Kevin Gausman picks up the loss in the game. He's 0-3 now. It's a win for Michael Wacha to get to an even 2-2. And James MacArthur picks up his 5th save of the season, an impressive 6-out save from the right-hander for the Royals. The game took just about 2.5 hours in front of a crowd of just over 11,000 people. And for the Royals, they go to 14-10, while the Blue Jays now sit at 13-11. The best news for Toronto, they get a chance to do it again tomorrow. The Blue Jays will take on the Royals at 7:40 for a third day in a row, and it'll be the third start in the career of Yariel Rodriguez. He takes on Alec Marsh. Whenever Yariel's on the mound, it should be an electric day, and it'll be a really exciting one tomorrow, Chris.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him. Anytime you get to see a young guy that has all this potential pitch, I'm going to be locked in. I'm going to be studying him.
Blue Jays have won his first 2 starts. We'll see if they can make it 3 in a row coming up tomorrow. Make sure to tune in for pregame as well ahead of the game. But now let's get you to the postgame for our technical director, Tom Young, our producer and host, Show Ali, and my partner, Chris LaRue. I'm Ben Schulman. Have a good night. Get your calls in because Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker starts right now.
Generational hitter thing, none of that. And until proven otherwise, he, to me, and I think to Kevin, I mean, he's the number 2 hitter in a lineup that isn't really good right now. That's probably the best way to put it. But, Kevin, we've got to talk about Vladdy Jr.'s defense tonight. 3 unearned runs. The Royals win 3-2. A game where Kevin Gausman, look, I'm not going to try to make too big a deal out of this, but something doesn't look right with Kevin Gausman. He's not getting a lot of swings and misses. He is throwing a lot of fastballs. Today, I mean, he lived and died with soft contact today. He had, 2 strikeouts, 12 ground ball outs. We'll talk about Kevin Gausman, but we've got to start with that play involving Vladimir Guerrero Jr. It's great. I've got a guy who's played first base an awful lot, put in an awful lot of time at first base here. It was a bouncing ball to IKF. Kyle Isbell, the hitter. IKF makes the play, makes the throw. Kevin, I'll let you tell me what happened to Vladdy in that play. Bottom line, a run scores, then Bobby Witt Jr. comes up. He hits a 2-run double. And, that is basically the ball game. 416-870-0590, star 591 888 your chance to weigh in on what you saw from Vladdy and Kevin Gausman tonight. And maybe it's nice to celebrate how Kevin Gausman grinded through the game, but it's been a whole hell of a lot of grinding so far for Kevin Gausman early in the year. Maybe it's something we've missed. Kevin, I want to talk about that play.
Yeah, look, 3-2. I don't know why it feels like it was 10-2.
You made that point, and I agreed with you. I thought it was over. 3-2. I thought the game was over.
Yeah, that's how it feels right now. Look, I think the Vladdy thing at first base, he has really soft hands. He has good hands. He has atrocious footwork around the bag. I've said this to you a bazillion times. The bag's never been bigger. You should never have to reach across your body on a throw from a third baseman who is running towards the second baseman. Like your footwork around that bag should never be stationary. It should always be fluid. And what I mean by that is sort of your feet is going towards where the ball is going to end up. It's not I run over, stick my foot in the middle of the bag, and I try and stretch the opposite way the ball is going because I think I have soft enough hands and good enough hand-eye coordination that I can catch 99% of the balls. I think he thinks he can do that. It's just when it looks this way, that's when you start wondering and scratching your head about, again, it is real simple. Run over, take both feet, stand in front of the bag, use the corners of the bag.
And you are right. The bags are literally bigger than they've ever been.
They've never been bigger. Now, I've never played a baseball game with the size of bags that these things are, but I can tell you when I played, Cecil Cooper used to get me out in spring training and force me to use my feet around the bag because I wanted to use the edges of the bag to its fullest. If I use every edge, I should most of the time be catching those balls in the air because it's the big leagues. Most of those infielders are really good, accurate throwers, and most of the time aren't going to make bad throws. But when they do, that's when your feet are most important, when it just comes to the edges of those bags. So that was one of those things. It's almost like whenever you stand in the middle of the bag, you lose sight of the baseball because you have to step across your body to catch it, especially when you're a right-handed thrower, meaning you catch the ball with your left hand, you have to reach across your body, you lose sight of the baseball, and some of the times you miss it. And you know, it's little things like this, right? When your pitcher is doing things that the pitchers are doing and you ain't scoring no runs, every single play matters. And it just so happens that that was the deciding factor of the game. That's one of those at the big league level. When you've won a Gold Glove, you should never miss, ever. There's no excuse for it.
Yeah, and you know, you look at this game and you look at the runs that the Blue Jays scored in this game. This kind of, for me, compounds it. Okay, we know that they were 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position. They left 10 on. Okay, they're the Blue Jays. That happens. But, Kevin, you played a team tonight that made 2 egregious errors. One, Adam Frazier, I think, we call it an error in that base running towards home, and the ball hit to the pitcher. And secondly, I don't know what planet Kyle Isbell was on, but Justin Turner at third base, a shallow fly ball to center, you've got to make that throw home. You've got to throw Justin Turner out at home on that play. And those are 2 runs that I think were gifted, or 1 run gifted to the Blue Jays and another base running error that took Kansas City out of a scoring opportunity. The door was open there.
Yeah, I think you got to, as a whole, the lineup has to stop trying so hard. Yeah, I know that sounds very little leaguish, but you can see it. I mean, Vladdy's stepping in the bucket. He's long. He's trying to take 3 Big Daddy hacks each at bat. Just doesn't work at this level. The way they add and subtract and can throw a secondary pitch and get you to get yourself out, you got to do better. You could go down the lineup. Every single guy is sort of trying to do that because they see what their buddy in front of them is not doing, and they want to help out and try and score runs until they sort of deep breath, exhale, walk to the plate, trust what they're doing off the field. What do we hear all the time? Trust the process. Well, until you start seeing guys do that, the 3-2s are going to feel like 10-2s.
The Jays, by the way, if you were watching the game, you'll know that Kevin Kiermaier was removed from the game with a left hip flexor issue, left hip flexor discomfort. That's from John Schneider. He's being evaluated tonight. So maybe tomorrow we'll find out whether a lineup move, a roster move is necessitated. And boy, wouldn't that be interesting considering the way a couple of guys are hitting at AAA right now, considering the fact that this team really isn't hitting worth a lick. Patrick in Toronto, you're on Blue Jays Talk. What's up, Patrick?
Oh, good evening. I have to confess that Vladdy's wearing a bit thin for me, and I'm wondering...
You and me both.
Maybe Kevin can answer. Is he ever going to become a disciplined hitter? What on earth does he have against a fastball right down the middle of the plate?
Thank you, Patrick. I'll pass it over to Kevin.
Yeah, look, that's a fair question. Again, everybody struggled at things. In life, your job, you struggle at it. Right now, Vladdy's doing that. And, again, he's struggling a lot. And when you have mechanical flaws like he does and can't a lot of the times put his A swing on different quadrants of the strike zone because of all the things that are going on before he makes a positive move towards the baseball. Why do you think he's bringing in all these people to try and keep him square to the ball, thinking right field? Like he's not trying to hit the ball to right field. He just wants direction towards right field so he can stay on the ball longer to get the ball in the air and hopefully square it up more often. I just think for me, this has been going on for 2 years now with the same lower half, with the same inconsistent movements where he's not getting his front foot down on time to allow his talent to take all over. There's no doubt he's oozing talent. It's just the fact that sooner, absolutely.
He's
sooner
oozing
than
talent.
later, absolutely.
Okay.
I've watched him in the cage. I've watched him in batting practice, oozing it. It's
All
just
right.
the consistency of the lower half matching what's going on between the ears. And for me, until it's like the pitchers, Yusei Kikuchi and Jose Barrios in the offseason went home and said, you know what I'm doing's not working. I'm going to simplify it so I can repeat it over and over and over again so I'm the best pitcher I can possibly be. I asked the question, and I will continue to ask this. If you walked up to Vladdy and said, can you take your A swing and hit that guy's best velocity in quadrants of the strike zone, I could tell you what the quick answer would be. It would not be, yeah, I'm pretty sure I can. No, he would have to sit and think about it. That will tell you the inconsistencies of his lower half. And for me, until they simplify that, make that shorter, more collision-oriented,
yeah, but
we're going to see the ups and downs and the ins and outs and the
there haven't been
and the ground
but
ball
see,
from third.
Yeah, there haven't been a lot of ups and downs. There haven't been a lot of ups. I mean, there haven't been a lot of ups. Let's be honest.
He hit 24 homers and drove in over 90 runs. So last year he had a solid season. Wasn't the season that we all thought he should have, but 24 and 95 don't grow on trees. So we have to give him credit for that. It's just the expectations that I think we are asking him to do right now. For me, with what you're seeing on an everyday basis, with everything that he's trying to do, it's just not feasible. And until he realizes that and just sort of thinks that I need to figure out how to beat the guy to the spot.
John Schneider, the manager of the Blue Jays, was asked about Vladdy's error.
Mistakes happen. Errors are going to happen. Just an inopportune time, obviously, but I haven't looked at it that closely.
John, when Vladdy came in there, did he say what he saw on that or what he felt through that?
No, I didn't. No, I mean, again, he's a good first baseman. You know what I mean? I think it was just just a bad time, obviously. But no, didn't talk to him about it. We expected it was a good play by Iz. To get over there and make a good throw. Again, haven't dissected it, but thought it was, he thought he was going to catch it.
416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590. A tough loss for the Blue Jays tonight in Kansas City. 3-2, unearned runs on a night when Kevin Gausman battled and battled and battled and battled. A question for you to consider, you listeners, you callers. John Schneider has been awfully patient with this lineup. And we heard Buck refer to it on the telecast tonight. Wanting to wait, I believe it was 90 at-bats, 90 plate appearances. John Schneider's been awfully patient with the top four in this group. Kevin and I addressed this in Blair and Barker. At some point, do you make a move with Springer, who had a good night tonight, or Vladdy? And I'm going to say the same thing that we both say, Kevin. I don't know what you'd do. I don't know where you'd. I mean, if Vladdy's not hitting, putting him in the cleanup spot doesn't help. Putting him in the fifth spot doesn't help. It's not like you can hide a guy who isn't hitting. But clearly, this is going to become an issue at some point soon if the lineup keeps underperforming. Why are you married to that top four? I mean, it has to be asked of John Schneider.
Who would you put in the 2-hole? Who would you lead off? Who else you got? Who? Name
it's
a
not
guy.
working, Kevin.
Who would you
It's
put
not
there?
working.
You have to have a better option. What's your better option? I mean, you ain't moving Varsho around. Varsho's sort of feeling frisky where he's at. You don't rock that boat. Like, who you putting up there? Like, you got to have better options. If you're going to sell this to these guys, who are you putting there? Like, John's very good at calling guys in the office and say, you ain't getting it done. I'm going to put this guy there because he is. Who is that person?
So you just keep running out the same
Absolutely.
lineup,
Absolutely. They've been saying this since spring training that the core and the stars of this team will take them where they're ultimately going to end up.
500 looks like.
You know as well as I know who they think the stars and the core is.
Let's talk about Kevin Gausman tonight. Yes, credit him. He battled all that good stuff we say when a guy manages to stay in a game and he doesn't have his good stuff. But again, Kevin, soft contact, I think 12 ground ball outs. He got 4 whiffs and 51 swings. Didn't get any whiffs on the 4-seamer. Again, it's great that he's battling and well done and all that good stuff, but it's not the Kevin Kiermaier we expected to see, I don't think. And I think we're getting to the point now where the odd spring training and all that, the hiccup in spring training, I think we need to maybe move beyond that and wonder just what the hell is going on here.
I mean, he gave you 6 2/3. I mean, he gave up no runs. If a dude catches the ball at first at a big league first baseman, should always catch. Like, he is very good at his craft with 2 pitches. I mean, every once in a while you're going to go out there 2 or 3 starts and just not have it. I mean,
he's throwing sliders, more and more sliders though in the last couple of
he threw 9 of those tonight. I mean, he's throwing enough of those to try and get him off the heater. That's why he's throwing them. He wants to set the fastball in because he doesn't have the extra little tick right now in the velocity. That's why he's throwing it to righties. He wants to throw it, get them looking out there, bust them in, get an easy, quick, soft out to the pull side. Like he's trying to set the heater up because he doesn't have the extra little gear and velocity. Like you sort of know that's called pitching. Like that's what you do when you don't just have your stuff and you can't go out there and go, I got my good splitty. I got my 97. There ain't nothing you can do about it. He just right now don't have that. And he's trying to add and subtract, get you a little trickery, get you 13 ground ball outs. If he does it with 2 punch outs, so what? Again, I think you got to look at the totality. He gave you a quality start and didn't have his good stuff. I mean, that's sort of what this rotation does, right? And they would have won the game if the dude catches the ball at first. That's what I think you got to look at some positives when it comes to a guy that's thrown as much as he has and is trying to do this with the tools that he's trying to do it with. It's real hard to do it with 2 pitches. It really is. Like if you don't got one of them, if it ain't working the way it's always supposed to be working, because one's feeding off the other. I speed you up because I throw really hard to get you to swing over top of the split finger because it's got late tunnel, because it's hard, and it's breaking a lot because I'm spinning it with my finish. When you ain't got the velocity, I let it travel. I take it more. It's deeper counts, more pitches in an inning. Instead of going 7 1/3, I'm going 6 2/3. So I'm super impressed by just what you're seeing with what he don't have, with what he's giving you when he goes out there. It's impressive. I mean, again, every once in a while it'd be nice to see 8 runs on the board. It's not like they ran into a bunch of really good pitchers tonight. Walker didn't have his good stuff. That's about as bad a walk as you're going to see. And in that stuff they're running out of the bullpen, I mean, that's not Randy Johnson like stuff. So just the at-bats, we all know this. We've said this forever, like the consistency of the at-bats when it comes to just grinding them out and trying to get a ball that you can pull in the air with some authority. That's where it's at, right? It's just enough of the thinking and enough of the saying and just get out there and get it done. And hopefully they can, somebody can catch fire. I don't think it's going to be 2 or 3 guys, but it just can't be Dalton Varsho. He ain't enough to do this. They need some help. And, maybe it's Springer. Maybe Springer will He looked a little better tonight. I mean, looked a little bit like he's a little bit more on time. The separation's good, right? When the front foot hits the ground, he's got a little pause before he attacks the baseball. That will tell you he's on time. He needs that. He's an educated guesser. Educated guessers need a little pause because they don't want to chase it what they're not looking for because they're trying to guess their way through at bats. And when he's got that, he's a little bit better. So maybe he'll catch fire and get a little
He rolled a couple balls up the middle and nice
hit's a hit.
Get on
It's
base.
Results.
Yeah,
Hit's
I
a
know.
hit.
Yeah, it's not quite the. I'm going to concentrate on pulling the ball more George Springer that we were told we were going to see.
It'd be
Spring
35
training,
in
but I
September.
mean maybe. Well,
It'd be 35. in
slow
September.
bat. Maybe you know what? Maybe given that we've sort of come to the conclusion that this is going to be a year of diminished returns offensively from this team. Maybe we just have to settle for George Springer getting on base. However, right? And forget about anything else. Get on base.
I think that's plenty if Vladdy is Vladdy of
My
last
next
year.
point.
I'm not talking about I'm not the Vladdy of a couple of years ago. I don't think you have that conversation anymore. I think you're looking for that Vladdy you had last year, right? Where
At
he can
times
run
last
into
year,
you
yeah.
something where that 20 to 27 or 8 and drive in 90 to 97 or 8. I think that's what you're looking for. And if you get that, it's okay for George Springer to hit 3 singles and be late on a heater and hit a lollipop line drive to right. That's okay. He's getting on base and he'll score a bunch of runs. You're fine with that. But if it's all that and you're not getting anything for Vladdy, it's the fanny out and the weak swing and the rollovers to third, that's going to be a tough swallow. So, again, I'm optimistic just because of the way they pitch. Again, I've had this conversation with you. If they can even somewhat get close to meeting in the middle with their starting pitching, I mean, they got a World Series contending rotation. You can't argue that. Like, just the stuff they roll out there it's elite stuff. It's just offensively, man, it's a grind. Like, mentally, you got to be asking yourself, if you're a pitcher, what do they have to do? You don't think Kevin was thinking when he gave up the error, which is not his fault, the game's over. He's losing that. But that's hard to swallow. It's tough at this level to have to go out there and think that every single time you take the hit.
Well, especially when you don't have your best stuff.
I mean, it's even
Especially
better when you don't have your best stuff and it's still 6 2/3 and you haven't given up a run yet.
416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590. The Blue Jays, 3-2 losers to the Kansas City Royals. 3 unearned runs, the result of an error on a,
ball that should be caught.
Ball that should have been caught by Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at first
he's a good
base.
defender. Most of the
makeable
time
play.
he catches it. Yeah, absolutely.
We'll take a break and come back. Go back to the phone lines. 416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590. Are you concerned about Kevin Gausman? What would you do about Vladdy? I mean, we've sat here and we've talked about it since opening day. I got no ideas. I wonder if you do. 416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590. It's Blue Jays Talk on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You can bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Sundays are for Junior Jays, and with all kinds of cool new games and activities in the exciting outfield district areas, there's no end to the family fun you'll have.
If you're feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
Bring excitement to your landscape with proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better, so they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs, in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikeys accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Centre. Visit timbermart.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
It's Ernie Clement with the RBI single. 1-0 Toronto.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting there. Not nearly as consistent as I would like to be and what I expect of myself, but, we're definitely getting there. The timing is getting there. That's the biggest thing with me is my timing has just kind of been a little off, and that's why I've been a little bit sporadic with my fastball command, and so, my other pitches play off of that. So, but I feel pretty good with where I'm at right now.
That is Kevin Gausman. 6 2/3 innings tonight. The loser, 0-3 in the year. As a result of a error by Vladdy Jr. 3-2 loss for the Blue Jays. So much for those of us who had Kevin Gausman. You get really good odds on Kevin Gausman winning the American League Cy Young Award at the start of the year. So much for those of us that brought into that. That ain't happening. 416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590.
You go to the doctor, and then all of a sudden
I'm being a realist. I'm being a realist.
Wow.
I'm being a
Cheer
realist.
up, buddy. Let's go. Clean that up.
I got to get off here and go watch the Canada's hockey team, the Winnipeg Jets, play. So I'll be all right.
We're only 2 weeks into the season, bud. Suck it up.
We're not 2 weeks into the season. You're telling me it's early? It's early.
What I said we're 2 weeks in. I didn't say.
Hey, Vladdy Jr. was asked about his play at first base. This was his answer through the courtesy of interpreter Hector LeBron.
I mean, what am I gonna say? I just missed the ball. Period. I mean, of course, yes, I did want to talk to him, and I told him, hey, my bad. I mean, this is baseball, and sometimes, you don't want to miss anything. You don't want to make bad plays, but I mean, sometimes it happens. So yes, I did went to him and. That's all. My bad. I'm good, man. I'm good. Obviously, I mean, it's not the way that I won the results that I won. But even when I hit the ball hard, like today, it didn't go my way. But I'm just gonna continue to keep working hard. Overall, we're doing an okay job. I mean, we know what we want to, and not everybody's in the line where you want everybody hot. Of course, it's 2 or 3 there, and we're not hot yet. But I mean, there are a lot, and there's some other guys that they're hot. But we'll get there. We're gonna be good.
There you go. That is Vladdy through his interpreter.
Yeah, I like that he's on the defensive side of the thing in the air and going to Kevin. Yeah, Vladdy's a good dude. I mean, I know it's easy to pile on.
This is the frustrating thing. Look, we've talked about this. He works hard. He's a good kid.
Everybody works hard.
He works hard. He's a good kid. He's smart. So this makes me wonder why the hell he hasn't figured it out. Is he stubborn? Maybe that's it. Maybe we're overlooking it. Maybe he's just stubborn. Is he hard to coach? I don't know. We haven't investigated that. I mean, we've just kind of sat here and said, yeah, well, but. Yeah, well, but maybe he's hard to coach. There have been guys who are like that.
Yeah, I don't know. The people that I've talked to that have been around him, that's not the case. Like, he's trying. I think it's just, again, what's going to have to happen for him to go mechanically? He just ain't going to work. Like, the dude's up here too good. They found things that I don't know how to hit.
Yeah,
how do I combat that and figure it out? Yeah, maybe that's the answer. No?
Let's go to Glenn in Waterdown. You're in Blue Jays talk.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Glenn.
I wasn't sure if you could hear me. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
Like a lot of people getting tired of the Vladdy act. And, I have to say, Kevin's saying that, he's super talented. He might be, but you look, and I know he's still young, but there's a lot of other young players.
I'm just going to jump in. He's not young. He's been in the game for 5 years. He's not young anymore.
He's not. And you look at other players that were projected superstars and on other teams, and none of them have gone through this length of, not so great hitting that Vladdy's going through. And the play first base tonight, to me, that was a lazy play. Is that he took it too easy. And of course, people are going to miss plays, but when there's guys on base like that, you can't miss a throw like that. Like, that's inexcusable. As much as John went to bat from, say, things happen. I'm sorry, not that. But I had a thought. I mean, what if Joey Votto starts to come around in the minors and starts to hit? So you bring him up, and Vladdy's doing what he's doing right now, which I will say, I've never seen his at-bats look so bad as I've seen the last few games. He looks almost lost. His swing path is horrible. Like, he's taking some brutal swings. Like, it seems like he's getting worse instead of better. Like, I'm really worried about the guy, and to keep him up in the 2-hole, I have to say that they have to move him down. I'd rather put Biggio at first base, give Vladdy a night or two off, and is Biggio a first baseman? No, but I think right now he'd be doing better than Vladdy. Like that, watching him go up and hit these ground balls and key, double play balls, and it's so frustrating. And to be in the 2-hole doing that, you can't do that.
Appreciate the call, Glenn. Yeah, Kevin, Joey Votto. I don't know if Joey Votto's even. I don't know what he's doing in the minors. I mean, I've seen him. Apparently, he's walking around the ballpark signing autographs. I don't know. Is he taking bet? Is he played in the game? I don't know. I'm sure as hell not waiting for Joey Votto to come and save this team, though. I'll tell you that much. And as far as Biggio at first base, I mean, look, the error tonight was awful. By and large, Vladdy has been a good defensive first baseman. Like, there's a lot of things about Vladdy that concerns us, but I'm not concerned about his play in the field. I'm like you. I'd like to see the footwork get better.
Absolutely.
But beyond that, Joey Votto, by the way, from Ben Nicholson Smith, he started running, but he's not live hitting yet. Not hitting live pitching. So,
I mean, I saw him in spring training after he whatever he did to his ankle. I had no idea it was that bad. Like, I mean, this has been forever ago since he did that.
Yeah.
Like, what happened?
No, I'm with you, Matt. Listen, I don't. I mean, at this point,
if he's healthy and he can start hitting and driving the ball, he will be in the big leagues. Like, they will rush him here. They will send 3 Ubers down there in a private plane to get him up here. Like, offensively, they're begging for people. So if he can hit, absolutely. To Glenn's point, I agree with Glenn everything he said except the not having talent. Vladdy's got talent. It ain't talent. I mean, what he's doing has nothing to do with not having talent. It's just you got to occasionally, sometimes you got to just start to go, maybe what I'm doing mechanically just ain't working. I need to shorten this up and figure it out. How do I hit a fastball consistently? Let's work there. Simple.
Kevin Gausman was asked about the error by Vladdy Jr.
He just kind of, hit me on the shoulder, and that's kind of understood that that's my bad. Listen, this game's hard, and I've never played first base, so I can't say anything to him, So it's unfortunate because obviously it led to, a big inning, and we weren't able to kind of get anything going after that. But, it's baseball. Nothing more I can do about it now. It stinks, but, I still want Vladdy as my first baseman. And so, very confident in his ability over there. And so, that's why it stinks. But like I said, that's the game. And, unfortunately, we're playing really good baseball. And something like that is, it's unfortunate that, it ended up being as important as it was.
At some point, Kevin, God love Kevin Gausman. At some point, if I'm a Blue Jays pitcher, again, we've talked a lot about Vladdy's defense tonight, but let's not overlook the issue with this team is the hitting, is the lineup.
Absolutely. No question.
That's the issue with this team. The Vladdy era tonight, we'll talk about it tonight. We'll move on tomorrow. But, man, if I'm a Blue Jays pitcher, I'm looking at this lineup, I don't know if it's going to get any better. I have a general manager that, they seem to think this lineup's fine. And at some point, if I'm a pitcher, I'm going to be asking somebody some questions.
Yeah. I couldn't.
I have to.
Absolutely.
I have to. I'm doing and it's not.
They're doing their part.
They're not being selfish. They're doing, it's just, they're doing their part.
We got a really good team if we figure out how to get more hits when it matters. They do. They have, just imagine if the offense was even close to what the starting pitching is. How good this team would be. They most of the time play good enough defense. Their baseball IQ running around the bases is good enough. It's just the 2 for 10s with runners in scoring position. There's just too many games of those. And tonight it's not because you faced good pitching. You didn't.
No. Easy to talk about Vladdy's era tonight. It will be the talking point out of the game, but let's not kid ourselves. The issue with this team remains the lineup. It's been that since opening day, and unless something's done, it's going to be that way for the rest of the year. That's it for us. 3-2. The Blue Jays lose to the Kansas City Royals. The good news is the Blue Jays get to do it again tomorrow, and so do the rest of us. 7:40 first pitch tomorrow from Kansas City. The Jays on the Royals at crown.com. They are Canada's #1 rust protection.
This has been Major League Baseball play-by-play on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app. Why do I love calling this game?
Calling this game.
Calling this game.
Calling this game.
Why do I love calling this game? It's because I get a chance to bring some joy into people's lives.
Anything can happen on a baseball field.
We've got a new game.
It's perfectly unscripted theater.
Everybody on their feet.
Because you never know what you're going to see on a given day.
It is Bedlam at the bank as Bryce Harper has put the Phillies on top.
There's just something about baseball on the radio.
Something about the way wood hits leather.
A swing and a drive to deep left center.
The way leather hits dirt.
And he made the play.
The way a deep fly ball sounds like it's about to change history.
High fly ball to center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall.
Until the cleats hit the grass, hit the crushed brick, and then nothing but sky and a silent crowd.
That ball's high.
Until leather hits leather and 40,000 fans lose their collective minds.
In a perfect symphony of chaos.
He jumped up on top of the wall, balanced himself, and caught it.
The way nothing triumphs a perfectly honest call.
The way the right voice can make a moment live forever.
Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Outsiders may think this is just two teams.
The ball, a bat, and a microphone. But no.
For over 100 years, this has been the soundtrack of the American pastime.
He struck it out looking. It's over. It's over. The Rangers have won the World Series.
The soundtrack of summer. This is Major League Baseball on the radio.
Right now on SiriusXM.
All rise.
Coming in 5.
Get ready to play. 4.
Get up. Get up.
3.
Can you believe it?
Put your seatbelt on.
Wow.
Talk about the game and all the stories on MLB Network Radio. SiriusXM 89 and the SiriusXM app.
T8 XM186 and Internet 848. Padres on Internet 862. 9:38 p.m. LA Angels take on the Baltimore Orioles. Angels on Sirius 85, XM 188 and Internet 852. Orioles on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 842. 9:45 p.m. San Francisco Giants take on the New York Mets. Giants on Sirius 160, XM 187 and Internet 863. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Tuesday, April the 23rd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. 6:10 p.m. Cleveland Guardians take on the Boston Red Sox. Guardians on Sirius 208, XM 175 and Internet 847. Red Sox on Internet 843. 6:40 p.m. Cincinnati Reds take on the Philadelphia Phillies. Reds on Sirius 209, XM 176 and Internet 846. Phillies on Internet 860. 6:40 p.m. Pittsburgh Pirates take on the Milwaukee Brewers. Pirates on Sirius 210, XM 177 and Internet 861. Brewers on Internet 855. 6:45 p.m. Washington Nationals take on the LA Dodgers. Nationals on Sirius 211, XM 178 and Internet 869. Dodgers on Internet 853. Spanish broadcast on Internet 870. 6:50 p.m. Tampa Bay Rays take on the Detroit Tigers. Rays on Sirius 106, XM 179 and Internet 866. Tigers on Internet 849. 7:05 p.m. New York Yankees take on the Oakland A's. Yankees on Sirius 119, XM 180 and Internet 858. A's on Internet 859. 7:20 p.m. Atlanta Braves take on the Miami Marlins. Braves on Sirius 137, XM 181 and Internet 841. Marlins on Internet 854. 7:40 p.m. Minnesota Twins take on the Chicago White Sox. Twins on Sirius 98, XM 184 and Internet 856. White Sox on Internet 845. 7:40 p.m. Chicago Cubs take on the Houston Astros. Cubs on Sirius 138, XM 182 and Internet 844. Astros on Internet 850.
SiriusXM has soccer covered end to end. SiriusXM FC. Hear live play-by-play and talk shows hosted by legends of the game. It's SiriusXM FC on Channel 157.
With Josh Naylor and Jose Ramirez leading the way, Xavier Scruggs from SiriusXM MLB Network Radio is impressed with what the Cleveland Guardians have done so far this season.
They're one of the more exciting teams to watch play baseball, and I think mostly because they come up in so many clutch situations, and it's been that way since the season has really started. We talk a lot about impact players. Josh Naylor is exactly that. He's one of the more underrated hitters that we have in the game. There's a confidence there that is something that everybody wants as a hitter. You can tell that he just believes in himself so much in his own approach. And you heard Stephen Vogt talking about how he approaches lefties and doing a good job with that. And that's so important because you think about Jose Ramirez, which is an MVP caliber player every year. He's got to have that type of protection. And that's something that they've kind of battled over the past few years. So it's nice to have some consistency there with Josh Naylor and what he's doing. And then the rest of the offense has been really good too. Stephen Kwan at the top of the order has been one of the more impact players as well. OPS close to 900. You got Fry doing his thing as well. Jose Ramirez is still trying to find it a little bit, but guys have stepped up in some big situations. And the pitching, we